किशोर तुम वीडियो टा ऑन करो
सर मो मोबाइल रे अछि कैप्चर करि परिबिनी आज
कैप्चर न करो तुम एटा वीडियो टा ऑन कर रखो आ से जो एटा को देखो केमती कोन करिवो बैकग्राउंड बैकग्राउंड रखो
मोबाइल रे होनी
हबो हबो तब डीएल भाई को पचारो
अच्छा संध्याळू ट्राई करछि देखु
नहीं एटा मु भी जाननी किंतु डीएल भाई ने रखते होचंदी
नै लास्ट रो आरएल तरुण को भी पचारी मु ट्राई करथिली हो नतला
अच्छा उमा रेड्डी
मोबाइल रे वेब सर सर
उमा रेड्डी बैकग्राउंड टा रखो
करछि सर सर नमस्कार
नमस्कार भाई
सर करछि सर करछि
नमस्कार ये मैंने ज्वाइन कर 6:30 की मीटिंग का ज्वाइन करे है ना जीएसटी मीटिंग में हाँ हाँ पॉजिटिव है
Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
मैं कहो गुड इवनिंग ये हाँ टैक्स बार को मीटिंग का ज्वाइन करो 6:30 हला जीएसटी हाँ हला हमारा जीएसटी मीटिंग अछि ठीक है ओके ठीक
किरण
हां भाई
तमरो दीटे देखो तमरो का फोटो रहला है दीटा देखरे तमरो फोटो का दुसची लैपटॉप टारे तमरो मुंह दुसिला आ जो ये टारे बोधे तमरो दुसची स्टील फोटोटा सेठी नाटा चेंज कर दियो
हां
कोन गए बोलले मैं कोन
ना डाउट कोन लिखि देबी
आउट कोन लिख दियो
कौन है ଆପଣ କୋଉ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟ ଆପଣ ତ
किरण कुमार पाड़ी बोल लिख दियो
ଏମିତି କାଇଁ ଏଟା
पाड़ी
କଣ
उमा
उमा भी लिखि दो
ये गला
कौन टे नाटा चेंज कर दो उमा किरण से फोटोटा को चेंज कर दियो तमरो
हां गेस्ट के का सुन आप लाड़ा फर्स्ट मैंने मीटिंग ज्वाइन कर दो हाँ
बैंड विथ इज लो देखो
डिस्कनेक्ट ऑडियो कर दे लेगी नाइडर फोन डरे ऑडियो टा डिस्कनेक्ट कर देगी
ये बंद कर दे नेट कम यूज
हाँ मीटिंग ज्वाइन करो हाँ ठीक है क्या वो ये many happy returns of the day ये कोड है तो बाद ना कौन कर यार कर हां तेरे रिमाइंड के लिए
अशोक भाई को डाकी दियो तिरुपति
अच्छा जॉइन करना जी
ना अब मु अशोक भाई डाकी दूची तुम आउ का फोन कर दियो
अब वो करछ
हो
लेक्चर है गला
हां
लेक्चर मतलब है गला
वाओ भाई नमस्कार जॉइन कर जांदु हाँ भाई ना आ भास्कुटी हवा नहीं आउ आसन आसन सुशांत घरे अच्छो ना ऑफिस रे अच्छो
सत्तर
गुड इवनिंग
गुड इवनिंग घरे ना ऑफिस रे
ऑफिस रे
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है
की मेडिकल कौन रहती कौन है जी दरबार रे ना छोड़ो
सुशांत गुड इवनिंग
गोटे काम करो तमे सेटा
गुड इवनिंग
जॉइन करिके
कौन करछे
मोबाइल रे
सुशांत
ऑडिट काम
नहीं कौन आज खाओ न किछि
ये कर दो सर
ऑडिट काम चल छी
नहीं आज किछि खाओ न कोन
आज नाही किछ खाया नाही आज
पठेबी गैस करो
आज कोन छठी हुसा ना कोन जे मना
पठेबी गैस करो
पठो न तब तो साडे देसी माने खासी जा मिल जुबरे
हां मक्का आज याडे
मक्का की जो करे बा खासी मांस पटेले जे न
खासी मांस मु धरी इन द नल पठे दी तंदी खाओ नहीं ना केबे अच्छा भलो था
नमस्कार
काय बा तुम देखा जावनी जे
आओ नती के
दिबे काली गले कथा है
ओके डन
आसी नहीं करबो
हां हो
बड़े हां वेरी ये जब मीटिंग जॉइन करूं हां इसी अबे आप जॉइन कर परिबे चले आप 10-15 मिनट बाद जॉइन करिए अविनाश चल कर हां ठीक
स्कैन कर दे शायद बड़ प्रिंटर टा लगा केरा लगा एटा रे काई कंटिन्यू आउनी
माना वो तुम बैकग्राउंड हेला
आ तुम कलनी आ कोन करी को
तुझी कोडी अच्छे
मु जानते तुम आज कहियो बोली रे मु कल्लाड़ गो तब कत मन पको देले मु तुम आज बाध्यटा कहियो बोली रे घर सब भलो अछन के
हां सर
हां हो हो बड़टा रे एटा
चार्ज
एती तो थाई बोलो एती के तो थाई और इलेक्ट्रिकल
त्रिपति
करने
त्रिपति 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 ताको पुणे उतरे बंद हैला सुबेर
तळे पटे ने हिंदी कोन सेपट जा पड़ी जो भागी जो
त्रिपति त्रिपति
मतलब जो मैं उसके अंदर जाने वाला था लेकिन डर के
किरण किरण
हाँ नमस्कार
हाँ कुहतु
किरण तमरो दीटा जाक फोटो सेम हे गेला किरण गोटे फोटो काढी परिबोनी
हाँ हाँ
ना गोटे फोटो ओरिजिनल टा वीडियो टा रखी देले स्टार्ट वीडियो कर देले से चेंज हे जिवो
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
हां खाली नाटा आपण टिके एडमिन अछन ना नाटा आपण चेंज कर दियौ
नाटा मु चेंज करि परिबि गेडी
हां कले हबो ना जार अलगा ना थाउचे डेल अछि आपण डेल टा पचारि कि नाटा चेंज कर
सीमांचल तमरो नाटा चेंज करनो सीमांचल
हां हां रीनेम करियो
ना करने
ना रीनेम करो डेल लिखो रीनेम करो
आपण के महांती बोल लिखि दियौ
किरण कुमार मिश्र कर देली
ना नहीं के महांती लिखि दियौ
के मार के जणा पड़ जिवो
ए शॉर्ट फॉर्म थाउ किछ असुविधा नहीं एटा किरण कुमार आसु से के महांती
के महांती
मोर भी डेल कोन पड़ेला
किशोर किशोर
हां नमस्कार कोंदु
नहीं किशोर 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 किशोर
मते पचार
हाँ सर
ए ये
हाँ,
सारा
सर।
को जॉइन करिए
हाँ सर हाँ कहू
किशोर भेंकट को कह दियो टिके ब्रज शासमल को भी कह दियो
अच्छा उठेले नहीं फोन कह दे
हाँ सर कहू
हां
हाँ मु कह दूँ
प्रस्ताव नमस्कार हेलो प्रस्ताव
इसका क्या मतलब है?
इसका मतलब ये है कि इंसान का और अब से रोबोट्स की सेंचुरी शुरू होती है। अब से बेकार इंसान की जगह दुनिया को हम कंट्रोल करेंगे।
मतलब अब रोबोट का राज होगा पर किसने तुम्हारी ताकत को कहाँ छुपा कर रखा होगा ये भी दूसरे इंसानों के साथ कहीं बंद करके रखा होगा
ये क्या हो रहा है?
हम तो आपसे बाहर निकलने वाले हैं
कितनी जल्दी एक और शॉट हो गया। स्पाइडर साइकिल नहीं तो क्या इस बस से कहाँ जा रहा हूँ? मुकाबला करें। नहीं उसके पूरे समझो हमने उसे गलत समझा अगर टावर में घुसने वाला वाकई लोग तो हमसे जोरदार मुकाबला करना हम क्या ये हम लास्ट के लोग की जान है तो इस हमले में तुम्हारा भी हाथ था मुझे याद नहीं कि मैं यहाँ कैसे आया या तुमने मुझ पर हमला क्यों किया पर इतना जानता हूँ कि मैं तुमसे नफरत करता हूँ थंडरबॉल्ट ऐसा लगता है हमारे भाई को बिगड़ मौका बनाया है तो वो दुश्मनी भूले टीम टुगेदर
नहीं हमें जॉइन करो आप करो
और नमस्कार
हां हे बता हां ये अंकल गंगरा सर अंकल लगी गंगरा सर
तिरुपति ना एबे मोर आसी लगी नाटा
हां
तिरुपति ना हेलो
नहीं डेल लगा देखो जी
डेल
डेल देखो
मार देली है किसरा
हाँ
ऑप्शन ना मार देली डेल पड़ेला
नहीं डेल टा को एडिट करी रीनेम करो
जोड़ी जाई देली सेटिंग रे
सेटिंग रे
और कौन मारला ये सेटिंग का क्या बोले
डिफॉल्ट नेम मार दीथियो डिफॉल्ट नेम
हां हां सेटा मार देली
ये जॉइन करा
रीनेम करबी के
रीनेम करो
बाबा वाले पास जॉइन करो
ଏବେ ଦେଖିଲ କିଶୋର
ଦେଖୁଛି ଦେଖୁଛି ଆସିଲା ଆସିଲା
ଆଇଲା
ଆସିଲା
ଡେଲ ମାର ଦେଲି କଣ ଅଛି ଲାପଟପ
डबल वीडियो आइले
हां
डबल वीडियो
नहीं
आसिले
हां
नहीं नहीं घर अच्छे जाई नहीं वर्षा वर्ष जाई नहीं दियो
कि घर लैपटॉप नहीं के
ऑफिस जाई नहीं
हां
नहीं रखी नहीं
हां अरे ना है कोड़ा मारले सेटा पड़ो
जानछि कोन जानिछो अटेन्ड गर्नु ओके
तिरुपति
हां भाई नमस्कार
नमस्कार कोड रंजित काय
नमस्कार
नमस्कार रंजित काय
रंजित अच्छा जे जाई छोड़ दिया रिफ्रेश पे
हां हां
हां
ता रिफ्रेशमेंट पे से पलेगी
आपण ऑलरेडी कर देले से पळेले कोडे
शिशुजीरा में सपोर्ट सुजीरा ऑन कर
ये किशोर तमरो टीम रे आउ काई बीरंती काई देखा जाउनी रसी रंजन पड़ी तमने फोन करा
डीएल मोबाइल लॉगिन नहीं है वा
करूची
डीएल
नमस्कार
करूची
सेटा तो लूज
तू चार्ज सुना देखी
देखिए करो मान नो स्विच रे
को स्विच मारी
स्विच रे तो ऑन ऑफ कर दीजिए सेकंड होला हो ना पाकड़ ना
सौम्या कंसल्टेंसी के
हैं
सौम्या कंसल्टेंसी
धीर गड़े ऊपर उठे जाना सेटा बाजी आ किछ करना स्कैन किछ करना
पट्टा
एटा ना होची ये तो हो
कहना का स्टार्ट शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन
ये मैंने हमरो ये
सेटा बाजी जो देखो
राउरकेला बाग रे किछि जॉइन करी मेंबर हैला
राउरकेला
हां
बोले धीर
अरे से प्रज्ञा बदे से
हां हां
बोला
कहना का कोन शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन
से कहिते होते पांगी এটা বিশ্বই জয়েন করা সত্যি
ভাই নমস্কার
हां नमस्कार तो सत्यि त्रिपाठी नाल जिन करो
रो रो मोते जणा नाही सेटा कि चेंज हर से जियो मोर लैपटॉप नहीं
नमस्कार।
भाई नमस्कार
नमस्कार
नायक सर नमस्कार
नमस्कार
भाई
नमस्कार
नमस्कार डीएल भाई
नमस्कार
नमस्कार नमस्कार
डीएल तू कोन लैप मोबाइल लैप लॉगिन है
हेलो
ये कौन
हां
मोबाइल लॉगिन है
हां हां
हां
कौन पे
हां
इस कितने कौन लेंगे पानी ना हाथ तो पानी हाथ लगे दे सिजो सिंगल पानी जाए ना
एटा स्टार्ट वीडियो कौन कर देला
नमस्कार
एडा किदा शुरू
जानो मैंने
ये तो ऑन कोनी वीडियो लॉगिन है की कोड खोले
चाप ये प्ले थे
हेलो नमस्कार
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 हां सर नमस्कार सर नमस्कार
साटा उधर आराम हो
हां सर
क्या
ଆସିବ ନା ଆସିବ।
ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର।
ଆଇଲା ଆମର ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ କଣ ଅଧା ଭଲ ପକେଇଦେଲୁ।
ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର।
ଦେବାନନ୍ଦ ସାହେବ ଦେବାନନ୍ଦ ସାହେବ
ହଁ ନମସ୍କାର ଭାଇ, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ନମସ୍କାର।
ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍ତେ
କୋड ଅନ୍ କରିକି କୋड ପଳେଇଲ ଚା ପିଇବା ପାଇଁ ଚା ପିଇବା ପାଇଁ।
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ କୁଆଡେ ଯାଇନି।
ସାହୁ ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର। ତିରୁପତି କେତେ ସମୟ ହେଲା ଆପଣ ନମସ୍କାର ଜଣାଉଛନ୍ତି?
ପଟାଟା ପକାଉ।
ବାରିକ ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର।
କ୍ଲାସ ଭିତରେ
ଆରମ୍ଭ କର ରଞ୍ଜିତ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍କାର ଭାଇନା, ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍କାର ଭାଇ, ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍କାର।
କଣ ଅଛି
ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ତା ପିଲା ବାଲା ଫଟୋ ଲଗେଇ ଦେଇଛି। ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ତା ପିଲା ବାଲା ଫଟୋ ଲଗେଇ ଦେଇଛି।
ବିନୋଦ ବାବୁ ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍କାର ନମସ୍କାର। ଭାଇନା ନମସ୍କାର।
ନମସ୍କାର ଭାଇ।
ସାହୁ ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର। ନମସ୍କାର। ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ଫଟୋ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ଟ ହଉନି।
ଆଉ ଟିକେ କ୍ଲିୟର ହବ। ସେ ସିଆଡେ କୁଆଡେ ଅଛି କି? କଣ ହେଇଥିଲ? ସିଆଡେ ଖାଲି ଅଛି କି?
हेलो
किशोर।
हाँ गुड इवनिंग।
किशोर और किरण। किरण
गिरीश साहब गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग गुड इवनिंग।
साहू सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
आज गोटे सरप्राइज। आज शांताराम भाईना has joined. शांताराम भाईना नमस्कार।
रामनाथ।
माने this is really a surprise भाईना। But thank you for joining.
ओके राइट।
आपन को हमें बहुत मिस करथुनु।
वेलकम।
अज्ञानी आसिला। अज्ञानी माने ज्ञान रंजन साहू। देवानंद भाई नमस्कार। देवानंद भाई नमस्कार।
नमस्कार भाई, नमस्कार।
विश्वजीत बैकग्राउंड टा चेंज करे।
ଭାଇନା ହଉନି ଭାଇନା ମୋ ଦ୍ୱାରା କୋड ଚେଷ୍ଟା କଲେଣି ହଉନି।
ହେଲେ ସେଟା କିରଣ କୁ ନଲେ କିଶୋର କୁ ଟିକେ ପଚାर ଦେ रे। संपूर्ण बैकग्राउंड चेंज करो। बैकग्राउंड चेंज करो तमरो कैमरा टा को ଟିକେ तळू करो। हां एबे परफेक्ट हला। हां ठीक अछि।
सर ଟିକେ प्रियंका को अतुल को जॉइन करियो।
किरण भाई बैकग्राउंड चेंज कर दियो।
गुड इवनिंग
अतुल
मोर बैकग्राउंड चेंज कर दियो।
तमरो बैकग्राउंड
मोर बैकग्राउंड नहीं
तम कंप्यूटर बैकग्राउंड ना
सर
ଏବେ ଶୁଣିଲା କେତେବେଳେ ଆସୁଛୁ ରେ
सर एबा आसिली सर।
थैंक यू
सार संपूर्ण को एका चिन्हिले।
सर समस्त नमस्ते पढ़ियो।
नमस्कार भाई नमस्कार।
मोर से शेयर ऑप्शन ला देबे सर। शेयर ऑप्शन टा गोटे मिनिट रुंदु मु आपन को को होस्ट कर दूची। हां सर आपन सेटा रे शेयर कर देबे।
हां प्रेसिडेंट सर
मु कहली अज्ञानी आसला बोली तुम सेटा सुनी पालोनी बोधे।
नहीं नहीं सुननी। अच्छा अच्छा
धन्ना
हां सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार कौन पुड़िया खाउछ
नहीं पान गोटे खाऊची सर।
आरम भाई पठो।
हां सारम भाई पठेबी जे किमिति पठे वर्चुअली पठेबी ना।
हां
तिरुपति आराम करा मीटिंग करा
सर आउ टिके रुन सर।
प्रियंका को जॉइन करियो।
हां हां
प्रियंका को
हां
प्रियंका अतुल
आसीबा अतुल तो जॉइन कला
पहले प्रियंका जॉइन कर।
हां
ना कंट्रोल रे
किरण भाई
हां
नारी करते जाओ तुम्हारा कौन आ रही को डायरेक्ट ही हो
अंजन शेखर जॉइन करनी की।
ओ बढ़िया
तिरुपति शेखर जॉइन करनी।
शेखर जॉइन करती के दिव्या बोल नहीं।
मैंने अच्छी मैंने
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक ठीक है। जीवन भाई नमस्कार।
हां नमस्कार समस्त नमस्कार।
नमस्कार भाई नमस्कार।
हां तुम फोटो कूट अछि जीवन में
भाई नमस्कार।
अरे बा वीडियोडा
नमस्कार।
रविंद्र पाणिग्रे पूरा राम जेठमलानी भलिया बसचंदी।
भाई नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार देबा।
देबा भाई
समस्त को नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जीवन
नमस्कार।
हां भाई नमस्कार
नमस्कार
रिपोर्ट मु टिके सुसु करी पळे आछी।
हां
नॉट अलाउड
ज्ञान कोन कहला कि सुना गलानी।
ज्ञान है ना
आसान संघर्ष
सेटा को चेंज करि परियोनी।
किछ होबनी हो।
हां रंजीत बैग पूरा ओइसे मेरी हैप्पी ससु
एटा नहीं रे एटा आउट अछि नहीं रे
क्या नहीं आया है
टीडी स्टाइल एटा एटा
देबा एटा कोडी जो
जस तुम ले लो
नहीं ये करिया ऐड करिया क्लिक कर
चलो
पूर्ण कौन खबर।
मुन्ना आज पूरा रेडी भाई ना?
हां पूरा रेडी
पूरा पूरा मन पूरा श्रद्धा
हां जणा पड़ती जे
असरदा हला बेलू हम भाई ना असरदा हला बेलू हम मन पकोती श्रद्धा हला बेलू मन पकोती
भाई एते एते काई गाली करछ हो
आ गाड़ी करियो बोले आओ गाड़ी कर
हरे कृष्ण गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण भाई गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल
गुड इवनिंग
गुड इवनिंग भाई ना ठीक है ना गुड इवनिंग
आइना मोर बैटिंग टा आउ नहीं
हमर केबे लाइयोनी
गुड इवनिंग पछु टिए पळ हे जीवो
केते पूछू जी बा
पहली तो न
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण गुरु
एबे इम्यूनिटी पावर नाइ त पेल परि
नहीं हरे कृष्ण
औसरा मानी हां
नहीं
हरे कृष्ण भाई
भला चंदा
एकदम फाइन फर्स्ट क्लास अछि
ओके कौन संपूर्ण कौन खबर है होउनी कौन कहउछे
कुन्ना भाई नमस्कार
संपूर्ण कौन होउनी
संपूर्ण रो कौन होउनी होला कौन कहबे मीटिंग बस तो किछ कहि परियेनी
हमें आस्का बनियालानी देखे माळे आडगु वर्तमान वर्षा चलछि
बापिया ना देखा जाऊ ना भाई ना
अच्छी अच्छी मु आउडे मते 5 मिनिट समय दियो
हो भाई ना नमस्कार करछि
नमस्कार
मु जानछि 5 मिनिट कोन मु जान देली
नमस्कार
काहेंगी
हैप्पी ब्रेक
हो राखु छ
भाई ना बड़ आइडा ऊपर रागी
ना नमस्कार से चाहा खाया कथा कहथुला
ना
नहीं नहीं संपूर्ण रागिले मते बड़ कष्ट हो
ना संपूर्ण
भाई मु जान देली
नहीं आपण ऊपर जे रागिले असुविधा हबो
काहेंगी भाई ना सिंधु छ
बड़ आइनाडा पूरा है ना अभिमान
आज संध्याटर पूर्ण कोन आज मनस्थ करके आसो कि बड़ है ना तेल मालिश करियो बोली
नहीं भाई हरे कृष्ण भाई हेलो विश्वजित भाई हरे कृष्ण आमे मन कौन करि पातु भाई
बोले कोन फ्यूचर पोस्ट नबो बोली एपड ऑयलिंग के
नहीं भाई हमु के पचारियनी भाई
विश्वजित आले कोन अपील पे काढ जना कोन काली प्रिंट
भाई विश्वजित रे दिन राति पैसा
अपील
ये अपील का मागा
कमिश्नर अपील थियो तागले
कोन मोर पर्दा फास कर दो
ऑफिसर डाकी चा फा किस दोन आउ
संपूर्ण
खाना
मोर पर्दा फास कर दलटा भलो हलानी
नाइ ना अपील कामडा जणा पडियला आज काढतो होला काली
संपूर्ण आदि ये सीट ऊपर अछि मोरा
संपूर्ण पतला जाई तो से सीट टा ऊपर कर दै छी
हां भाई ना ए किन दुष्टि दे भाई ना
हां
एबे किन दुष्टि देखले ना 12 वर्ष तो काढिया दुष्टि
एटा ग्रामली के टैंक पार्क रो करामती है
नाइ मते 10 अगर वाला 10th क्लास पढला होउची मते बे
एइडा मन पाइला कॉलेज उ जाओ नले
एक्चुअली 10th क्लास रे फिगर एटा मोर
नहीं संपूर्ण कॉलेज उ जाओ ना 10th क्लास रे तो कॉलेज बोले दुष्ट हो जाउ छ
नहीं आउ छिपिनी है पे पढाइली 20 वर्ष
नहीं कॉलेज उ बोले दुष्ट हो जाउ छ
आ उसको करबे आइगला फिगर त सेमती अधा आइगला आवर डाउट
वेंकट टिके उत्तम को डाकी दियो
उत्तम से मेडिकल कमर अछि
कोन है तारो
ये कैलाश रो कोन ये अछि जे बोल नै
आउ तरे जे
कोई जे ए रवि हां राउरकेला बारे जन दिलीप कुमार अग्रवाल जैसे प्रेसिडेंट की
दिलीप बाबू जॉइन करछंदी
हां जल्दी के देखिए
गोटे मिनिट मु देखि दउची
हां
हां अछंदी दिलीप भाई अछंदी
दिलीप बाबू नमस्कार
दिलीप भाई गुड इवनिंग नमस्कार भाई
गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल गुड इवनिंग नमस्कार
नमस्कार दिलीप भाई
वेलकम टू बरहमपुर टेक्स बार एसोसिएशन
थैंक यू जति भाई आपण मेसेज पाइली जे मुकली आज तो निश्चित करिवा जॉइन
थैंक यू सो मच यू आर ए जीएसटी एक्सपर्ट
अरे सर
we would definitely solicit your guidance also.
थैंक यू नहीं सर सेमती नहीं हमें एबे सिखु छु ना अपन पाखरे ना
आज्ञा आज्ञा
आ से भलो छंती
आज्ञा भलो अछि आज्ञा
कंटिन्यू आइला
अच्छा अच्छा आ अपन ये पिला सेठी जॉइन करला
से जॉइन करि गेलानी दिल्ली रे जॉइन करि जाई छी एबे बरहमपुर रे अछि
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
एबे ऑनलाइन क्लास चल छी आज्ञा
अच्छा हेलो
नेक्स्ट बार में मीटिंग होतो रे तमरो दे
देना जाबे सर आसना दे
कौन सर
जय जगन्नाथ छह 5टा को जॉइन करिए 6 को जॉइन करिए प्लीज 6:55 हम लोग 7 बजे शुरू करेंगे
कौन करू
जमा जाएगा
ठीक ठीक है ठीक
वेंकटन्ना
हाँ
ठीक ठीक है कोई दिक्कत नहीं
हाँ गुड इवनिंग
गुड इवनिंग भल अछ
सर नमस्कार हाँ
वेंकट
साहु
घरे
सर
अछो कि
नमस्कार
तमे
हाँ घर अच्छे जाइने वर्षा होची बोल जाइने
से तो और पल्ली जा रहा है
सर प्रेसिडेंट सर
बोले तो पल्ली जा रहा है
ठाकुर 50 हे गेला हम फॉर्मालिटी चाला लोग 60 हे जियो
आसीबे से माने जॉइन करिवे से गेस्ट जॉइन करिवे
ऑप्शन जाची
हां
आ आज राउरकेला रो किछि एक्सपर्ट भी जॉइन करिवे मनोज अग्रवाल ए माने भी जॉइन करिवे
हला हमें फॉर्मालिटी से सब हे जियो ना एबेते
से माने भी देखंतु भाई ना हमर कोन फॉर्मेट अछि
ओके
ऑलरेडी रे देखे कंटिन्यू करतु से ऑलरेडी कंटिन्यू
ये
बोला तो बॉल पिलाटा केमती हो गेल तोरा
हां
बॉल पिला केमती नु हां
के
विनीत जॉइन कर लगी देखला
विनीत जॉइन करिनी
नहीं जरा मोबाइल नंबर विनीत 98110
आछि
विनीत
हां जॉइन हे गेले
नमस्ते तृप्ति जी नमस्ते
नमस्ते नमस्ते कैसे हैं
बहुत बढ़िया
प्रिया साहब नमस्कार
नमस्कार
नमस्ते सर नमस्ते सबको नमस्कार सबको नमस्कार
संजय जी कहाँ गए
संजय जी को आप फोन लगाओ
हाँ लगे ठीक है
हाँ वो आएंगे वो एक्चुअली अभी पार्क जा रहे हैं वो उधर से ही ज्वाइन करेंगे
ठीक है ठीक है
मैं कंटिन्यू करथिली कंटिन्यू कर यात्रा कंटिन्यू करी
कोन
एबे कंटिन्यू करथिली बुल्लू छी ना
ठीक है ठीक है
केरेला
तो हमें केमती विनीत को केमती फुल स्क्रीन रे देख परिबा
ऊपर म्यूट अछि तापर तीनटा डॉट अछि
हां करथि
ये टिके मते गाइड करि परिबो कि टिके स्पीकर रो मुहटा को हमें एनलार्ज करिया पई
हम ऊपर देखो ना तो फोटो ऊपर
जेटा
फोटो काढे
सुनो म्यूट
पकड़
डॉट अछि
विनीत जी आई हैव मेड यू द को-होस्ट
इन आई दिथरे
ओके ओके जी
कोई बराबर 100% आइला आत्रे आइला
तुम तळे देखो ना ऊपर देखो तमरो
देखते तो रही
ये रो आ फोटो जो अछि ऊपर थियो देखो
दे मन फिनिश हैला केते करला एक
से क्लिक
ठीक अछि कोन
तीन में अछि देखो
क्लियर है
एटा प्रति
ना आउट करे
उधर भी
से फास्ट डाल
तरुण तरुण आरएल तरुण
हाँ
एडा हिच परा
बुधवार थैंक यू
हां एला हां
एला
एटा डेल डाउट कारंट अछि
हां
डेल ताउची सीमांचल महाराणा
से कला तो कर दला अच्छा ये
शिशिर बाबू
सौम्य कंसल्टेंसी कार यार रसिरंजन पड़ी
कोई परियोनी है
ना मोर तो हैला
डाउट कार डेल देखु छे
कंटिन्यू
हमें केमती विनीतर येटा को टिके बड़ कर परियो कि
हां हां कर गेला
मुली विनीतर इमेज टा को टिके बड़ करी हबो कि
ओ छे
नहीं एबे छोटिया है कि देखा जाउची
बैकग्राउंड ना को
बैकग्राउंड नो तार येटा फोटोटा
एटा व्यू ए स्पीकर गैलरी होची स्पीकर को किले बड़ा है आसो
अच्छा ता माने से कहिला बडे ऑटोमेटिकली बड़ होई जीवो ना भाई ना
हां ताको जदी गैलरी से ओके पड़ियो
हेलो भाई ना
हां
ऊपर जो व्यू तीनटा देई छी टोपा देई सेडो क्लिक कर दियो भाई
नहीं सेडा को क्लिक कले मु तो एडी बड़ देख परिबी माने मु कहू कि गेस्ट टा को समस्त देखिबे केमती
मनोज अग्रवाल जॉइन कले हां
करले ताको ये करले पिला
हेलो मनोज जी
हाँ जी नमस्कार सर
नमस्कार वेलकम टू आवर
नमस्कार मनोज जी
नमस्कार रंजीत भैया नमस्कार
मनोज भाई नमस्ते
नमस्ते अरे क्या बात है सर
अरे सर हमको तो थोड़ा याद कर लीजिए
अरे बिल्कुल याद किए होता बाबू आपके बिना कहाँ जाएंगे ये बताइए
जानो तुम सांग जॉइन कला ज्ञान साहू तुम सांग मनोज अग्रवाल जॉइन कला
नमस्कार
कैसे हैं
ठीक है
और हमारे ज्ञान जी कहाँ हैं
ज्ञान जी बैठे हैं ज्ञान
बाबू हाँ जी
उनको ज्ञान रंजन मोदी बोले
हाँ
मोदी
वो मोदी का बहुत बड़ा भक्त है
अपना कौन ज्ञान जी भाई
ज्ञान रंजन साहू
हाँ हम भी हैं
अभी है
नहीं भाई ना
वो बेसिकली आरएसएस का आदमी है
अच्छा हाँ तो बहुत ऊपर वाले मतलब हम लोग तो खाली सिंपल भक्त हैं तो
हाँ।
आरएसएस बोलने से तो बहुत बड़े वो हो गए वो
त्रिपति संजय शर्मा को फोन करी कह दियो ज्वाइन करिए अभी मनोज आपका प्रेसिडेंट ज्वाइन किए क्या
मैं वही देख रहा हूँ
नहीं दिलीप अग्रवाल जी हैज जॉइंड
हाँ
लेकिन कल्याण भाई मानसधर कोई आया नहीं है पुष्टि बाबू भी आया नहीं अभी तक
650 हो गया ना आ जाना चाहिए था जिसको ज्वाइन करना है ना
हाँ
नमस्ते ठीक है विनीत जी ज्वाइन करेंगे नमस्कार ठीक है
सबको नमस्कार
नमस्कार
कुणाल लांटीवाला नमस्कार
त्रिपति कल्याण भाई की फोन कर दियो ताकि को ज्वाइन करबे अन्य मन को फोन कर देबे
नमस्कार
यस थोड़ा कटियो
Now this is 6:53. We would start exactly at 7 p.m.
छुट्टी होला तार हबनी आउदर गरे हम हम भोरु छु
साइड नेट पे पति यार आया पहला
रखी दो नाडा बुड़ी रो बुड़र नाडा से ग्लास सामान रखू
गाड़ी कांदा ये अच्छी ऑफिस
Ranjit Bhaiya, our president is joining. He's just joining.
Okay, okay. Manoj, can you please call Kalyan bhai?
कल्याण भाई लागू नहीं फोन है।
मनोज थोड़ा बात कर लो यार, कल्याण भाई से और मानस धर से।
प्रदीप नायक कृष्ण
तुम ये फोन कर दियो नले।
नमस्कार
संजय भाई नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
Sanjay bhai is the president of Raurkela Tax Bar Association. So we welcome Sanjay bhai to our association. And Manoj Agarwal is the secretary of our Raurkela Tax Bar Association. Manoj Agarwal को तो सब जानते हैं, बड़े आदमी है मनोज अग्रवाल, और उसके बड़े भाई है संजय भाई।
सॉरी फॉर
संजय भैया नमस्ते।
सबको नमस्कार।
संजय सर नमस्कार।
संजय भाई को जब भी देखते हैं खाली गाड़ी में ही देखते हैं हम लोग।
नमस्कार।
वो भी एक्चुअली कटक में है,
वो
कटक से ज्वाइन किए हैं।
अच्छा
स्टार्ट है नहीं अब मैं पटो जा पड़े लिंक के पटो
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल।
कल्याण भाई नमस्कार।
नमस्कार आयुष्मान भव।
कल्याण भाई नमस्कार।
नमस्कार आयुष्मान भव।
For everybody's information, I introduce Kalyan bhai, our elder brother and the past president of Raurkela Tax Bar Association, and very active member of AIFTP.
Thank you. Thank you.
4 minutes left. Exactly at 7 o'clock we would start. कल्याण भाई टिके मानस को फोन कर दो ना, मानस को पुष्टिया को मानस को कर दियो टिके।
अरे तिरुपति भाई मोर समस्त लगे देलानी।
हां तिरुपति इज वेरी माने परफेक्ट एकदम पिलाटा, भल पिलाटा,
भल पिलाटा हो।
मानस बाबू गुड इवनिंग।
आगो का फ्यूचर
अच्छी अच्छी
होनी
ताकू नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट कर दवा
6:15
ना सेटाने जीवन टिक तळे आ तळटा दे दवा।
ठीक है।
हां हां
संजय शर्मा को कहले जॉइन करिया नहीं।
हां कल से रास्ता राजी 17 वाले जॉइन कहले गाड़ी ड्राइविंग करती तो
ठीक है। 3 more minutes.
जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग रे गाड़ी बोल नहीं तो ना सरी लानी।
नहीं से सब नहीं
नहीं का
नहीं सेटा केवल आउट रे। मानस कोन कहला तिरुपति?
हां जॉइन कर दिथा ट्राई कला कोन हल्ला नी।
हां
जॉइन कर जो कहला
अब
हां
कुष्टियाऊ
हां कहले जॉइन कर से माने कामर व्यस्त मैं लिंक टा पठे देली जॉइन कर। हां
ठीक है लिंक टा कल्याण भाई पठे दिले समस्त
पर से बुद्धि देखिना जानो।
अच्छा अच्छा चंचल केडिएट आसीबार थिला
ମୁଁ କହିଲି ୟାଙ୍କୁ ମାନେ ଧର କହିଲି
आरके मिश्र सर जॉइन करछंदी
ନା ଆରଏମ ମିଶ୍ର ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି।
ओ आरएम मिश्र अच्छा अच्छा
ଭଲ ଭଲ ପିଲା ସେ ବି
ଆପଣ ସେ ରାଉରକେଲା ନା?
ହଁ ହଁ ରାଉରକେଲା।
ପ୍ରଦୀପ ତ ନାଇଁ କାଇଁ ଜଏନ୍ କଲେନି?
କିଏ ପ୍ରଦୀପ କରିବ କରିବ ସେ କରିବ କରିବ।
ଆଉ କଲ୍ୟାଣ ଭାଇ ରାଉରକେଲାର ଖବର କଣ?
ଖବର ଭାଇ ବର୍ଷା ପ୍ରବଳ ହଉଛି ତେଣୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ଶୋଇଛନ୍ତି ଯିଏ ଯାହା ଘରେ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଆମର ଏଇଠି ବି ଦିନ ଯାହା ଲାଗିଛି ସକାଳଠୁ।
ଏଠି ବି ଆଜି ବର୍ଷା ଚାଲିଛି।
ନା ଆମର ସକାଳ ବେଳଟା ଭଲ ଥିଲା ଉପରଓଳି ଜବରଦସ୍ତ ବର୍ଷା ହେଇଗଲା।
ବିଜୟ ଜଏନ୍ କଲା
ये
ବିଜୟ
माने आमो विजय
ହଁ ବିଜୟ
विजय चौधरी बी विजय
ହଁ
विजय चौधरी तो अच्छी
ହଁ ସେ ଅଛି।
now this is 7 we would start the meeting now the meeting is now called to order and now I would request our chairman greetings committee Sri Krishna Chandra Sahu to do the needful.
Thank you, President. I am audible.
Krishna, you are audible. You are audible. Just give me a moment, please. Just give me a moment. Before we proceed further, let me inform all my members that today we have a great speaker with us, Sri Vineet Bhatia. Vineet Bhatia, हम लोगों का बहुत अच्छा दोस्त है, तो he is the speaker of today. We have also invited the members of Raurkela. We have with us today the president of Raurkela Tax Bar Association, Sri Sanjay Agarwal, secretary Manoj Agarwal, past president Kalyan Bhai, senior advocate Dilip Agarwal, and many other members are also going to join. Another member, Sanjay Sharma, again a good friend of ours from Delhi High Court and Supreme Court. He is also going to join us. He is the main person who has motivated us and who has instructed us to invite Vineet for a talk. So he would be joining shortly. So I welcome all the members from Raurkela Tax Bar Association. On behalf of Berhampur Tax Bar Association, I welcome Vineet Bhatia. I also welcome Sanjay Sharma, who is going to join very shortly. Now, Krishna,
I have joined, sir.
Are Sanjay Bhai already joined? Sanjay Bhai.
हाँ जी नमस्ते.
Yes, Sanjay Bhai has already joined. So I would request all of you to kindly see our format of the meeting. हम लोगों का format थोड़ा अलग है, तो आप थोड़ा उसको देखिए, थोड़ा enjoy करिए, and then we would proceed for the next agenda, the main agenda. Now the proceedings are handed over to the chairman greetings committee, Krishna.
Thank you, President. Honorable Secretary Tripati and all our members. Good evening to all. I extend my heartful thanks to all the members and the members of all other bars, those who have joined to this meeting. Before starting the meeting, I request Ramnaran Patra to rise the national anthem first. Ramnaran Patra, sir.
Thanks, Chairman sir, for giving me this opportunity. हमें वर्तमान नेशनल एंथम हमें सुनिबा दयापूर्वक 1 मिनट में टिके थियाई पड़िबा.
Please stand up for the national anthem.
ପୋଲ ତଳେ ଯେ ବିକୁଛି ନା ନାଳ ତଳେ ବାଉଣ୍ଡରୀ ଲାଗୁଛି.
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Then continue for 1 minute silence prayer for world peace. Please continue for 1 minute silence prayer.
Please continue standing for 1 minute silence prayer for world peace.
Okay, be seated, please.
আজি আজি ভাদ্ରବ ଶୁକ୍ଳ ପବିତ୍ର ଷଷ୍ଠୀ ଏବଂ ଆଜିର ଦିନ ହେଉଛି 12th September and magical date 12 plus 9 equal to 21. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସ୍ୱାମୀ ବିବେକାନନ୍ଦ କହିଛନ୍ତି the more we came out and go and do good to others, the more our hearts will be purified and God will be in them. Thank you all one. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଦିନ ଆଜି ଶୁଭମ ହଉ, ଆପଣ ପରିବାରକୁ ଭଲରେ ରୁହନ୍ତୁ, ଖୁସି ରୁହନ୍ତୁ. Over to chairman sir, please.
Thank you Patra Babu. Now I request our vice chairman Girish Mahapatra sir to greet the wedding and marriage anniversary of our members for this month. Girish sir.
Sir. On behalf of Tax Bar Association, I wish a very happy belated birthday to Sri B. Avinash Raju, whose birthday was observed on 5th September. Today is the birthday of C.R. Lakshmi Tarun. A very, very happy birthday to Mr. Tarun. And a very happy birthday in advance to Sri Ravi Shankar Patnaik, whose birthday is going to be observed on 30th September. And on behalf of Tax Bar Association, I wish a very happy marriage anniversary in advance to Mr. Surya Narayana Das, whose marriage anniversary will fall due on 21st September. Thank you.
Now I hand over the proceeding to our president for further proceeding.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
Yeah,
I also,
information. Yeah, Avinash Raju blessed with a baby boy. So blessing.
Yes. Tripathi has rightly said. Actually, in between, Avinash had already celebrated his birthday, and on 7th of this month, he was blessed with a baby boy. So we all wish a very good luck to the newborn. We wish good luck to Avinash. We wish good luck to the grandfather V.S. Raju. On behalf of all members of Berhampur Tax Bar Association, Raurkela Tax Bar Association, Delhi Tax Bar Association, lots of happiness, lots of good wishes to Avinash newborn. Thank you. Now may I request our secretary Tripathi Patra to kindly read out the minutes of the last meeting.
Thank you, President. The minutes of 10th General Body meeting held on 12th July 2021 by Zoom. Meeting was called to order. President invited Sri Krishnachandra Sahu, Chairman Greetings Committee, to coordinate and do the needful. National anthem was invoked by all. 1 minute silence prayer was observed for world peace. Birthday. Sorry, friends.
Please continue.
Okay. This 10th, I should read out the minute of 11th General Body meeting instead of I read out the 10th General Body. Sorry for. Minutes of the 11th General Body meeting held on 14th August 2021 held by Zoom. It was called to order. President invited Sri Krishnachandra Sahu, Chairman Greetings Committee, to do the needful. National anthem was invoked by all. 1 minute silence prayer was observed for world peace. and departed soul of father of Sri Bansidhar Swami. Birthday and anniversary wishes were conveyed to the respective members. Minutes of 10th General Body meeting were read out by the secretary and got confirmed. President asked the August House for approval of induction of new member Sri Ravindra Kumar Sahu, and the House unanimously approved his candidature. President invited Sri P.K. Panda to address the topic new challenges faced by professionals in section 148 of IT Act 1961. Many members were participated in the discussion and got enlightened. President invited Sri Ranjan Kumar Sahu, Treasurer Chairman, TBA Finance Committee, to appraise the regarding collection of annual subscription. President highlighted the technical glitches faced by the professionals in new income tax portal and also discussed about the GST appeal. Vote of thanks was presented by our Vice President Sri Ipari Ashok Kumar. Then the meeting was adjourned. Now over to President.
Should we confirm the minutes?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, brothers. Now, before we go to the main agenda, let me once again introduce you to our Sanjay Bhai. Sanjay Sharma is basically a former president of Delhi Sales Tax Bar Association, a former National Secretary General of AIFTP, and he is the main person, he is the instrumental in inviting Vineet Bhatia to this meeting. I would request Sanjay Sharma ji to kindly speak few words. This is your first time you are attending Barampur Tax Bar Association's meeting for the first time. We would seek your guidance. Please speak few words, Sanjay Bhai.
Thank you, dear friend, Dr. Ranjit Padi. Jai Jagannath ji to all my dear friends from Tax Bar Association Berhampur. It's a real pleasure attending this webinar come your executive committee meeting. Really happy to see this format where you have a member executive committee meeting as well as a study circle meeting. And today, the topic you have chosen is very interesting and a very topical subject, litigations under GST. And Mr. Vineet Bhatia, advocate from Delhi, is going to enlighten us on this subject. And I believe it's going to be a very fruitful session for everybody. Since after the advent of GST, the litigations are also there on the rise. So this topic is going to benefit many of us today. And I'm very happy to note my dear friend, Secretary of the Berhampur Bar Association, Tirupati ji also, he invited me, and for this, I'm really happy to be amongst you and to the chairman of this session. Thank you very much. And we are really anxiously waiting to hear Mr. Vineet Bhatia, advocate from Delhi and who is a leading lawyer here in the High Courts. Thank you very much, Padi Saab, for inviting me, and to Tirupati ji for inviting me here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sanjay Bhai, for your gracious presence here. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to request the president of Raulkela Tax Bar Association, Sanjay Bhai, to speak few lines. Sanjay Bhai?
Yes, yes.
Please speak few words, Sanjay Bhai.
Just a minute. Hello.
हाँ संजय भाई, please.
Yes, yes.
संजय भाई,
Thank you, Padi Babu.
हाँ संजय भाई.
Thank you, Padi Babu, for inviting me. And subject is very vulnerable subject. Everyone is facing this litigation, and ये मैंने daily नया litigation आ रहे हैं. And really, you have chosen a good subject. I hope that this season will सबके लिए फायदेमंद रहेगा. Thank you, Padi Babu.
Thank you so much, President Raulkela Tax Bar Association. Now, I would like to request my elder brother, past President Kalyan Bhai, to speak few lines. Kalyan Bhai, please.
Good evening to all. First of all, I thanks to Mr. Ranjit Padi and Mr. Tirupati Patra from core of my heart, because first time I think in Odisha, this is the general body meeting where the other bars members are invited, and your format is, I think, is a specific one in the general body meeting, because generally in the general body meeting we fix some agenda and we discuss to that, and sometimes there are various issues decided on that general body meeting. But here, I think it is a new concept. It should be, because here your general body meeting consists of your bar, various problems and other thing with webinar, with some study details. So various members also join with this Barampur Bar Association. So it is a unique one. I thanks once again to the all member of Barampur Bar Association to invite me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalyan bhai. Thank you so much. Kindly stay with us. Now may I request GST Sathi. ये सारा इंडिया में he is popularly known as GST Sathi. My younger brother Manoj Agarwal. Manoj, can you hear me, Manoj?
Yes.
Manoj
Thank you.
Agarwal, I would request you to speak few lines.
I thank the Berhampur Tax Bar President, my elder brother, Dr. Ranjit Padi, and Secretary Tirupati Patrababu for inviting me and my members, my Raurkela Tax Bar members in this webinar. I would say webinar because we have joined as a participant. And I thank my elder brother Sanjay Bhaiya also, Sanjay Sharma ji also, and the learned speaker of the day, Vineet ji, who is a leading advocate in Delhi. I expect that this will be a very good webinar and it will be a learning experience for all of us. So thank you to the Berhampur Tax Bar for inviting us in this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, my brother. I once again welcome all members of Raurkela Tax Bar Association. I see Pradeep Naik is there. I think Chanchal has not joined. Manas has not joined. Kalyan bhai. Krusti Babu has not yet joined.
Manas has joined, perhaps.
Manas has joined.
Because he had talked with me.
Okay, I am unable to see Manas. Chanchal is not there.
Chanchal is out of Raurkela.
Okay, but today is Chanchal's birthday. On behalf of all members of Tax Bar Association, kindly convey our good wishes to our brother Chanchal. And convey Krusti Babu that we missed him in the meeting. Thank you so much. Now coming to the main agenda. Friends, I would be speaking in Hindi because our guest is Delhi. He understands Hindi. He also understands Odia. A little bit of Odia. Actually, 2 तारीख को हम लोग, मैं और त्रिपति, हम लोग जा रहे थे अमृतसर from Delhi. We had been to Delhi for some personal purposes. One of my brother-in-law has expired, तो उनके घर को जाने के लिए हम लोग गए थे. And moreover, मेरा बेटा और त्रिपति का बेटा दिल्ली में पढ़ रहे हैं, तो वो कॉलेज को हम लोग देखने के लिए जाने वाले थे. तो कोइंसिडेंटली ये जो अमृतसर का एक RRC मीटिंग था, वो बीच में आ गया. तो we decided to go over अमृतसर. हम लोग ट्रेन में जा रहे थे, तो ट्रेन में संजय शर्मा और विनीत भाटिया के साथ हम लोगों का मुलाकात हुआ. संजय शर्मा, I know him since long. He is a well-wisher, he is a guide. वो तो दोस्तों का दोस्त है संजय शर्मा, ये सबका दोस्त है. तो I knew him since long. तो वहां पे ट्रेन में हम लोगों का विनीत भाटिया के साथ मुलाकात हुआ. इनिशियली हेलो हाय हुआ, फिर रात भर हम लोग बात किए, थोड़ा बहुत ताश भी खेले. वो ताश में संजय भाई हम लोगों से जीत के थोड़ा सा पैसा ले लिए. बाद में वो ज्यादा दे दिए हमको. तो our friendship started in the train itself. और till 2 days, मतलब अमृतसर का जो फंक्शन खत्म हुआ, तब तक हम लोग सारे विनीत भाटिया और संजय शर्मा के साथ मैं और त्रिपति बहुत अच्छे दोस्त बन गए. एंड संजय शर्मा इंसिस्टेड मी कि आप विनीत भाटिया को एक बार बुला के देखिए. ही इज अ वेरी गुड स्पीकर. एंड उनके साथ बातचीत करने के बाद हम लोगों को पता लगा कि ही इज वेरी नॉलेजेबल एंड हिज सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर इज ट्रेमेंडस. इनका सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर इतना अच्छा है जो कि मैं यहाँ पे पब्लिकली बोल नहीं पाता हूँ. बट वो ही हैड सेड some of his sense humor, some topics he had already shared with us. So that day only we decided that we would definitely invite Vineet Bhatia to our association. And finally, we are here. Vineet Bhatia today is here. So before Vineet Bhatia starts speaking, I would like to request our Vice President Ipari Ashok Kumar to kindly introduce our friend Vineet Bhatia. Ashok Bhaina, please.
Thank you, President sir, and thanks to our Vice Secretary. And in this August gathering, that Tax Bar Association of Barampur, and this meeting was colored by the personalities from Rourkela Tax Bar Association, and Sanjay Sharma ji and other members made our meeting live to maximum extent. Today we have with us a dynamic speaker who is a law graduate from Campus Law Center, New Delhi. By profession, he is an advocate and operating professional firm Bhatia and Bhatia. He is a specialist in the practice of indirect tax laws since 1991. It's almost all 3 decades, more than 3 decades. He is with us to speak on the topic of litigations under GST. He regularly argues the matters before the Supreme Court, all high courts, tribunals, commissioners, as well as before all indirect tax authorities. He has in-depth knowledge of indirect tax laws and has addressed many seminars, conferences, meetings on GST. Many cases argued by him are reported and are also landmark judgments. He was also editor-in-chief and in charge of publishing a journal, Delhi Sales Tax Cases. He has been president of Sales Tax Bar Association, a body comprising of professionals around 1700, which includes advocates and chartered accountants, on 2 occasions. He was also a standing counsel for the government of NCT of Delhi, VAT department, and also represented the department before Delhi High Court. He has a standing of more than 30 years at the bar. He has advised many trade associations, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and corporate houses on various complex issues relating to GST. He was also a part of the faculty identification during the trainers program of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He was also a member of Indirect Taxes Committee of NIRC. He is the chief of GST portal on gstlatest.com. It is almost more than 30 decades he was in the indirect taxes. But if you see the personality, it does not look like he is so simple, and it's almost a simple man with a lot of knowledge. We are lucky that to have that dynamic speaker tonight with us, and I assure you all that we will have a great session today, and we will take more tips with him, which in turn will enrich our knowledge in doing our profession. With this brief introduction, I present before you today's dynamic speaker, Vineet Bhatia ji from Bhatia and Bhatia. Thank you, sir. It's over to President.
Thank you so much, Ashok Bhaina. Thank you so much for such a nice and a beautiful introduction. I would also request all my members, question and answer session jo hoga, that will be moderated by our chairman, Indirect Taxes Committee, Sri P.K. Naik. Sri P.K. Naik has already arranged some questions. To add him, we have with us Manoj Agarwal. Manoj, actually, we had also invited Tarun Agarwal. He has not yet joined. So if you can contact him and call him, I will be obliged. Tarun was.
I will do.
Please do it, brother. Yes, and let us hear Vineet Bhatia. Vineet ji, please get ready. And now this is your turn. We are all ready to hear you. We are very much anxious to hear you. Now it is over to you, brother.
Thank you, Ranjit ji. First of all, I would like to thank Shri Ranjit Padi, a very dear friend. Shri Tripti ji. I would request everyone to kindly keep on mute and unmute yourself.
Tripati, mute karo. Tripati, please mute. Tripati, please mute, brother. All my dear brothers, kindly mute yourselves.
So I am thankful to the Birampur Tax Bar Association, Shri Ranjit ji, Tripti ji, Vice President Mr. Ashok ji, and my younger brother Sanjay Sharma ji, the office bearers of Raurkela Tax Bar Association, President Shri Sanjay ji, Manoj Agarwal ji, and all the other office bearers. First of all, I am thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity of being amongst all of you and sharing my thoughts on a very wide subject of litigations under GST. And let me confess, I will be speaking extempore today, and we must, I would like to ask the audience as to which would be their preferred mode of communication they would prefer. Should I speak in English? Should I speak in Hindi? Except Odia, because Odia, I would not be able to speak Odia. Except Odia, I can speak in English, I can speak in Hindi, I can speak a combination of both. The
combination of both, please.
Okay. Okay.
ओडिया तो आपको पता है ना भाई ना, उस दिन आप मेरे को बोल रहे थे भाई ना क्या है?
So Ranjit ji was saying bhaina. I thought he's saying behan. Bhaina means behan, but then he said no, it's not behan, it is bhai, elder brother. So anyways, so since it is a very lengthy topic, we need to focus more on the topic, and let us try to understand first that under what circumstances litigations can arise in GST. You see, litigations under GST can be on few accounts. A, there could be certain issues relating to my inward supplies, like ITC related disputes, जो आजकल एक बहुत पॉपुलर चल रहा है, फेक इनवॉइसिंग और फेक इनवॉइसिंग इशू करने वाले के लिए लिटिगेशन, और फेक इनवॉइसेस जो रिसीव जिसने किया हुआ है और उसके बेसिस पे आईटीसी क्लेम किया हुआ है, उसका डिस्प्यूट. So that could be one area of litigation. The second area in the field of domain of ITC itself could be that I have claimed ITC, but I was not legally entitled to ITC. So it falls in section 17(5), which is the list of the blocked credits, but I have claimed ITC. So when an officer is examining my books of accounts, he may find that I have claimed certain ITC to which I was not entitled. Third ITC related dispute could be that I am making both taxable supplies as well as exempt supplies. Now under rule 42 and 43, I am required to reverse my input tax credit to proportionate to the amount of exempt supplies, but I have not done so. So that could lead to a litigation. Lastly, relating to ITC, there could be a dispute as to the time of claiming of ITC. That somebody has issued me an invoice on, say for example, 30th of August. I received the goods on 5th of October. The supplier has shown that supply in his books of accounts on 30th of August. So it is occurring in my 2A in the month of August. But can I claim my ITC in the month of August? Because I have not fulfilled the condition of ITC. That is, I have not yet received the goods, so I cannot claim it in the month of August. In the month of September, the officer may say that, look, you have claimed ITC, but this ITC is not appearing in your 2A. So now there is rule 36(4), which has been amended, which says that you have to claim ITC only to the extent which is appearing in your 2A. So the officer may say it is not appearing in your 2A, so a dispute may arise. So there can be many areas relating to ITC itself where disputes can arise. That is one area of dispute. The second area of possible litigation could be registration related disputes. I applied for registration, मुझे registration reject कर दिया on some flimsy grounds. Or I was a registered dealer, but I was not, my registration certificate has been cancelled without giving me a proper opportunity, or on some fictitious ground. Then the registration related dispute could be that I have changed the constitution of my firm, but that amendments have not been taken place in my registration certificate. So there could be many disputes relating to registration. Primarily, the dispute relating to registration would be where a registration certificate of a person has been cancelled, and that too retrospectively. अब डिपार्टमेंट ने retrospectively तो cancel कर दिया. Retrospectively cancel करने का impact क्या होगा? कि मैंने जितना supplies किया हुआ है, say for example, I am a registered dealer from the inception of GST. I got myself registered on 1st of July 2017. From 1st of July 2017 से लेके आज तक मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. अब डिपार्टमेंट ने एक इंस्पेक्टर भेजा, मेरे प्रीमाइसेस पे विजिट किया, and they found my premises locked. और उन्होंने मेरा एक नोटिस दिया और मेरे को रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल कर दिया, and cancel कर दिया with retrospective effect. Now, if that is done, then in that eventuality, what are the consequences? Consequences would be कि जो मैंने 1st July 2017 से लेके आज तक B2B transactions किया हुआ है, वो मेरे सारे buyers, they would not be entitled to ITC because my registration certificate has been cancelled retrospectively, and making purchases from an unregistered dealer, they are not entitled to ITC. So that would be a set of dispute which would arise both in your hands, that why my registration has been cancelled retrospectively, as well as a dispute on the side of all my buyers, that their ITC would be liable to be disallowed. So they would raise a dispute कि हमारा क्या गलती था when we entered into a transaction. So and so was a registered dealer, a properly registered dealer. I checked it on the portal. I entered into a transaction. All my transactions were through banking channels. So I was absolutely legally entitled to ITC. So now, merely because of the fact that the registration certificate of the selling dealer has been cancelled retrospectively, that cannot be a ground for disallowing the ITC of the purchasing dealer. But department कर देता है. अब कर दिया तो एक litigation start हो गया. So this could be another possible area of litigation. The third possible area of litigation could be, अभी हम पहले एक बार examine कर लेते हैं कौन-कौन से issues हैं, और फिर हम एक-एक को थोड़ा-थोड़ा deal कर लेंगे, and then उसका solution क्या है, उसको handle कैसे करना है, वो भी we will examine, and lastly we will take up the question answer session. The third possible area of litigation could be my outward supply related disputes. अब outward supply related disputes में क्या-क्या dispute हो सकते हैं? कि department says that you have made supplies without issuing of invoices. That could be a possible dispute, which we call as clandestine removal cases. The department is alleging a case of clandestine removal, or the department books a case of clandestine removal against us, against you. The next possible dispute relating to outward supply could be classification related disputes. I am classifying a particular product which I am selling or supplying under X category, under X HSN, but department feels no, this product is not classifiable under a particular HSN, which is taxable at the rate of 18%, but instead it is classifiable under some other HSN, जो कि 28% पे taxable है. And let me tell you, classification related disputes have very, very far reaching consequences in GST. I will give you an example. और उसकी वजह से the third possible dispute in outward supply could be interpretation of exemption notification. We all know there is an exemption notification both in respect of goods. There are certain goods which are nil rated, and there are certain goods, services which have been treated as exempt under GST. Let me tell you, there are going to be lots of disputes in this area. क्योंकि लोग क्या करते हैं? They don't study the law. Number one, with all due respect, I'm talking about the business people. They don't even want to consult a good lawyer or a chartered accountant. What they do is वो देखते हैं कि हमारा कॉम्पिटिटर क्या कर रहा है या बाकी लोग इंडस्ट्री में क्या कर रहे हैं. कोई अगर एग्जाम ट्रीट कर रहा है तो सब उसको एग्जाम ट्रीट करना शुरू कर देते हैं विदाउट अप्लाइंग देयर माइंड, विदाउट रीजनिंग, एंड दे हैव ओनली वन लॉजिक कि सर जो होगा सबके साथ होगा, तो अगर वो एग्जाम ट्रीट कर रहा है तो मेरे को भी एग्जाम ट्रीट करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू सर्वाइव इन बिजनेस. लेकिन wrong classification can have very, very far reaching consequences. I'll give you an example. अभी recently गुजरात में क्या हुआ, गुजरात में कुछ लोग they were manufacturing पापड़. It is not exactly papad, it is dry, जो fryams होता है, fryams, and they were supplying it to Haldirams, and everyone was treating it as exempt. They had a turnover of they were small scale industrial units. They had a turnover of 20 crores, 30 crores, 50 crores annual turnover. अब आप एग्जांपल देखिए कि वो एग्जाम ट्रीट कर रहे थे. अब किसी आदमी का जिसका टर्नओवर, हम एग्जांपल लेते हैं कि कोई आदमी एक गुड्स को या सर्विसेज को एग्जाम ट्रीट कर रहा है और डिपार्टमेंट 3 साल के बाद ये एलिगेशन लगाता है कि ये वाला आपका सर्विसेज आर नॉट एग्जाम बट आर टैक्सेबल एट द रेट ऑफ 12% और 18%. अब कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, लेट अस एग्जामिन द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है? मान लीजिए एग्जामिन करते हैं कि मेरा टर्नओवर 50 करोड़ रुपया है साल का. अब अगर मेरा टर्नओवर 50 करोड़ और मैं उसको एग्जाम ट्रीट कर रहा हूं, तो एक तो मैंने कोई आईटीसी क्लेम नहीं किया. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरी आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एग्जाम्प्ट है. बी, डिपार्टमेंट एलेज करता है कि आपका प्रोडक्ट पे टैक्स है 18%. अब 18% का टैक्स है तो मैंने 3 साल में टर्नओवर किया है 50 करोड़, 50 करोड़, 50 करोड़, मैंने 150 करोड़ का टोटल टर्नओवर किया है. 150 या 200 करोड़ का, अब 4 साल हो गए, 200 करोड़ का मैंने टोटल टर्नओवर किया. अब 200 करोड़ का अगर मैंने टर्नओवर किया और डिपार्टमेंट ने एलिगेशन लगा दिया कि ये आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है या सर्विसेज है, दे आर टैक्सेबल एट द रेट ऑफ 18%. So now my liability on 200 crore is 36 crores. Now that is only my tax liability. My interest liability would be another 8 to 10 crore rupees. And if there is a case of falling under section 74, then there would be penal consequences also. Or if I am unable to pay, then also there will be penal consequences under section 73. So another 10 crore rupees approximately on account of penalty. अब जिस आदमी का एनुअल टर्नओवर ही 50 करोड़ रुपया है, उसके ऊपर अगर 36 करोड़ का टैक्स प्लस अप्रोक्सीमेटली 10 करोड़ का इंटरेस्ट और 10 करोड़ का पेनल्टी, दैट मीन्स 56 करोड़ का लायबिलिटी आ जाएगा. तो he will not be able to run his unit. ये पक्का है. He will have to close down his unit because with this kind of liability, he cannot run the business. And this is exactly what happened for the entire papad industry. They were all treating it as exempt, and now the government has created huge demands against them. Similar case is pending for all aerated drink manufacturers, small aerated drink manufacturers. They were all treating their product at the rate of 12% by treating it as a fruit-based drink. Whereas the department says, no, this is taxable at the rate of 28% plus cess, which is 40%. So the difference is so huge that they will not be able to survive. They will have to close down their unit because they cannot pay taxes. So we must classify our product very carefully whenever a person is starting his business. One good thing in GST is most of the like products have been rationalized, but still there are disputes relating to classification. Another dispute which is going on is relating to chemicals, that is laboratory reagents and other chemicals. There are certain other chemicals which are used in diagnostic kits and laboratory reagent. Basically, these two products, a classification dispute is going on. So all I am trying to say is कि जब भी क्लासिफिकेशन रिलेटेड डिस्प्यूट्स आएगा तो उसको बहुत ध्यान से हैंडल करना पड़ेगा। चलिए, द नेक्स्ट डिस्प्यूट्स कुड बी ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ procedural lapses, and one major area of dispute is e-way bill related dispute. अब e-way bill related disputes में क्या है कि आपके गुड्स जा रहे हैं फ्रॉम ओडिशा टू दिल्ली, वो रास्ते में 4 स्टेट से पास होके जाते हैं, वो कहीं पर भी पकड़ लेते हैं और कभी कभी तो बिल्कुल फ्लिम्सी ग्राउंड पे पकड़ लेते हैं। So e-way bill related disputes is another area of litigation in GST. अब उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है, we will examine that also. Then another area of litigation could be refund related disputes. अब you are making a zero rated supplies or it is a case of inverted duty structure under section 54(3). अब इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर के केस में या जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज के केस में, we all know what are zero rated supplies. Zero rated supplies have been defined in section 16 of the IGST Act, और लॉ ये परमिट करता है कि आप जो जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज के केस में अपने एक्यूमुलेटेड आईटीसी का रिफंड क्लेम कर सकते हो बाय फाइलिंग एन एप्लीकेशन इन GST RFD 01. Now what happens is there are many disputes in relation to refunds. The officer says you are not entitled for refund for one reason or the other. The reasons, possible reasons could be, he could say कि सर आपका ITC verify नहीं हो रहा. He could say सर आपका ITC तो verify हो रहा है, but जो आपका level 1 का supplier है, जो आपका जिसने आपको supply किया, उसको जिसने supply किया था, वो fictitious dealer है, या level 2 का dealer fictitious dealer है, इसलिए मैं आपको refund नहीं दूंगा. That could be one possible reason. The second possible reason could be, he could say कि सर आपने ITC claim किया हुआ है on certain blocked credits which you are not entitled to, so I will not allow you refund. The third possible reason could be, he could say कि सर ये credit तो आपको available था, but इसका refund available नहीं है, like refund of capital goods in cases of exports as well as in cases of inverted duty structure. Refund of input services in cases of inverted duty structure. So the officer will say, sir, you are not entitled for refund. Fifth could be, he could say, sir, your refund application is barred by limitation. आपने 2 साल के बाद अप्लाई किया, तो जो एक टाइम पीरियड स्पेसिफाइड है एक्सप्लेनेशन टू सेक्शन 54 में कि आपने उसमें टाइम में अप्लाई नहीं किया रिफंड, तो आई विल नॉट ग्रांट यू रिफंड. So that could be a possible cause of litigation. So these are various possible causes of litigation. Then there could be valuation related disputes. Ab valuation related disputes mein there could be cross border disputes, there could be disputes relating to valuation of particular supplies, there could be disputes relating to availability of input tax credit in cases of debit notes. There could be dispute relating to issuance as to in which cases credit note or debit note can be issued and whether taxes can be reversed when a credit note is being issued or it has to be a financial credit note. So there could be disputes on these issues. Then there could be certain issues where the litigation will arise on account of challenging the provisions of law. We challenge the constitutional validity of certain provisions of law. Like say, for example, the constitutional validity of Rule 36(4) is already under challenge in Delhi High Court. The constitutional validity of Section 16(4) is already under challenge. 16(4) ये बोलता है कि आपको क्रेडिट तब मिलेगा जब आपके सप्लायर ने टैक्स जमा करा दिया. Now, we ask ourselves a question, is there a mechanism available to me wherein I can see whether my supplier has actually deposited my tax? Let us keep this question. I asked the August House. In my opinion, there is no mechanism provided that you can check whether your supplier has paid your taxes or not. Because अब वो टैक्स कैसे पे करता है? वो टैक्स पे करने का कोई स्टैंड अलोन मैकेनिज्म नहीं है. He pays his taxes when he files his monthly return, that is GSTR 3B. उसमें अपना जब वो सेट ऑफ करता है तो अपनी रिटर्न फाइल करता है. और he files another return which is GSTR 1. GSTR 1 जैसे ही फाइल करता है वो मेरे 2A में रिफ्लेक्ट हो जाता है. बट मेरे 2A में रिफ्लेक्ट होने से that is not a conclusive proof that my supplier has actually paid taxes, because it is quite possible कि मेरे supplier ने GSTR 1 तो भर दिया, but he has not filed GSTR 3B. So as long as he has not filed his GSTR 3B, we are not sure whether he has paid his taxes. Secondly, when he files his GSTR 3B, he pays a consolidated tax on his total turnover during the month. It is not party wise. So once suppose he has paid 2 lakh rupees as tax in a particular month, and the supplies which he had made to me, the tax on that was only 20,000 rupees. Now I will presume that in that corpus of 2 lakh rupees, वो 20,000 जो उसने मेरे को टैक्स चार्ज किया था वो उसने पे कर दिया. बट दैट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल कि उसकी टोटल टैक्स लायबिलिटी 10 लाख की थी, उसने 10 लाख में से सिर्फ 2 ही लाख पे किया, और उसमें जो 8 लाख नहीं पे किया उसमें मेरा 20,000 भी है. अब we have already challenged this provision also. This provision is under challenge before various high courts, section 16(4), including Calcutta High Court. So this provision is already under challenge. Sir, you have not provided us with a mechanism to check whether my supplier has paid the taxes or not. But at the same time, you say that I will not be entitled to input tax credit on the ground that my supplier has not paid taxes. Then there were litigations relating to transitional credits. A lot of people migrated from, everybody almost migrated from the earlier regime, that is the VAT regime or the service tax regime or the excise regime, to GST law. We all are aware that GST subsumed a host of other tax laws. So once those tax laws got subsumed, there was a specific provision in GST that whatever credits were lying in your earlier tax periods, since you were to sell the goods at a higher rate in GST regime, so you were entitled to input tax credit of transitional stock which was held by you as on 30th June 2017. Due to ignorance, due to technical glitches, and sometimes due to inadvertence, and sometimes even negligence, a lot of people could not file their form, which was GST Tran 1 form and GST Tran 2 form, which were required to be filed for claiming input tax credit. बहुत लोग नहीं फाइल कर पाए, तो उसको लेके बहुत सारा litigation हुआ, and across the country writs were filed in various high courts where it was argued that 140 में time periods word specified नहीं है, तो how can by way of a rule you can introduce a time period. तो बाद में उन्होंने retrospective amendment कर दिया section 140 में. But then there is a judgment of Delhi High Court in the case of brand equity. That case was argued by me only. So in that case, they have finally held that no, there has to be a reasonable time period given for claiming of transitional credits. And what a person is asking, he is asking only for his credits. The only thing is that he could not apply in a particular time frame. I failed to understand the rigidity of the government in not allowing those claims. You can check my input tax credit, whether my claim is in order or not, and thereafter you can allow me the claim. Another possible area of litigation could be where someone has wrongly claimed credits or has wrongly sought refund from the department, and he has got the refund also, and thereafter the department wants to recover those refunds. So that would be another area of litigation. So these all are various possible areas of litigation. अब अपन इन सब एरियाज को एक बार ब्रॉडली हमने एग्जामिन करा है. We will examine each one of them in slightly further detail. अब let us take the case of सबसे पहले the hot topic today these days, fake invoicing, and then we will also deal with how the department should deal with such cases and how as a professional we should handle such cases. अपने को क्या करना है ऐसे केसेस को हैंडल करने. अब और एक और इम्पोर्टेंट लिटिगेशन का इशू है where arrests are being done, that a person is being arrested. तो अरेस्ट होता है तो वो एक अलग क्रिमिनल सेट ऑफ लिटिगेशन है, वो बेसिकली इट इज अ क्रिमिनल लिटिगेशन, बट इट इज रिलेटेड टू जीएसटी ओनली. सो दैट वुड बी अनदर एरिया ऑफ लिटिगेशन. ये ब्रॉडली जो मुझे एरियाज याद आ रहे हैं, कुछ कुछ ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ डिस्कशन, इफ सम अदर एरियाज कम अप टू माय माइंड, आई डील विद दोस आल्सो. अब हम सबसे पहले डील करते हैं फेक इनवॉइसिंग के केसेस. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, there is no such word called as fake invoice. This is a word coined by the department or by the professionals or by the media, but in law there is no such thing called as fake invoice. जिसको हम लोग so called fake रेफर, मैं भी fake invoice ही करूंगा, but जिसको हम लोग रेफर करते हैं fake invoice, वो fake कैसे है? उस इनवॉइस में उस इनवॉइस की रिटर्न फाइल करी है मेरे सप्लायर ने. इफ वी फाइंड आउट द आंसर जनरली इज यस. और अगर नहीं भी फाइल करी बट ही इशूड एन इनवॉइस एंड ही फेल्ड टू फाइल अ रिटर्न, दैट डज नॉट मेक दैट इनवॉइस अ फेक इनवॉइस. सो दैट इज नॉट एक्चुअली अ केस ऑफ फेक इनवॉइस. देन इफ इट इज नॉट फेक इनवॉइस, तो मेरा आईटीसी कैसे डिसअलाउ होना चाहिए या क्यों डिसअलाउ होना चाहिए? इट इज एक्चुअली नॉट अ केस ऑफ फेक इनवॉइस, but it is a case of, I call it goodless invoice or paper invoice. Why a paper invoice? Because these are invoices where there is no concomitant supply of goods along with the invoice. तो invoice तो issue होता है, goods नहीं issue होता उसके साथ में. तो अब अगर goods issue नहीं होता, तो सेक्शन 16 की 4 कंडीशन अगर हम देखें इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट क्लेम करने के लिए, तो सेक्शन 16 की 4 कंडीशंस क्या हैं? हाँ सॉरी, एक एरिया मैं भूल गया. एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया ऑफ डिस्प्यूट है, वो आएगा कि जो ट्रांजैक्शन में कर रहा हूं दैट इज नॉट अ सप्लाई एट ऑल. सो इफ माय ट्रांजैक्शन डज नॉट फॉल विद इन द एम्बिट ऑफ सप्लाई, देन हाउ कैन यू चार्ज जीएसटी? बिकॉज फॉर चार्जिंग जीएसटी द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट कंडीशन इज that it must be a supply. अगर कोई ट्रांजैक्शन सप्लाई नहीं बन रही, तो it can't be, it has to first fall within the 4 corners of section 7 and section 9 of the CGST Act. Another area of dispute could be relating to place of supply. That whether my transactions, my taxes which I have paid, and I have supposed treated a transaction as IGST, but the department feels the transaction is that of a C and S, then that could be a dispute, or vice versa, that I have treated certain transactions as C and S, but the department feels that it is a case of IGST, then a dispute may arise. Although it is a revenue neutral dispute, there are no interest consequences also in such cases. But the consequences कि अगर मान लीजिए मैंने पिछले साल में 25 लाख 50 लाख रुपए टैक्स जमा कराया और मैंने आई में जमा कराया था, और डिपार्टमेंट बाद में कहता है नहीं सर ये टैक्स सी और एस में जमा होना चाहिए था, तो कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या है कि मुझे वो 50 लाख रुपया एक बार दोबारा जमा कराना पड़ेगा, और जो मैंने ऑलरेडी आई में जमा कराया हुआ उसका मुझे रिफंड क्लेम करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज व्हाट द लीगल प्रोविजन इज. सो इट विल इम्पैक्ट माय कैश फ्लो. एंड सेकेंडली, ये सबको पता है कि डिपार्टमेंट से रिफंड लेना how difficult it is. शेर के मुंह में से it is as good as शेर के मुंह में से मांस निकालने वाली बात होती है when we talk of seeking a refund from the department. So कहने को तो कोई consequences नहीं है, revenue neutral है, कोई interest liability भी नहीं है उसमें, but procedurally I have to pay the right taxes and claim refund of the wrong taxes. So that could be another area of litigation. Now coming back to section 16, the credit, for availing credit, the 4 conditions are: number 1, I should be in possession of an invoice, tax invoice or a debit note. I should have received the goods or services or both. This is the condition which as a buyer I have not fulfilled. अभी अपने एज अ सप्लायर भी क्या इम्पैक्ट है वो भी देख लेंगे, बट एज अ बायर आई हैव नॉट फुलफिल्ड दिस कंडीशन ऑफ हैविंग रिसीव्ड द गुड्स और सर्विसेज। तो डिपार्टमेंट क्या कहता है, सर ये जो आपने इनवॉइस आपके पास आया हुआ है, आपने पेमेंट भी बैंकिंग चैनल से किया है, बट यू एक्चुअली नेवर रिसीव दीज गुड्स और सर्विसेज। अब ये तो एलिगेशन है सिर्फ, हमारा स्टैंड क्या होता है कि नहीं सर, आई हैड एक्चुअली रिसीव द गुड्स और सर्विसेज, ये रहा जिया, ये आरआर इसका, so there is a transport receipt, so I am entitled to ITC. The third and fourth condition obviously are that the supplier has not furnished the return, and the other condition is that the tax charged in respect of such supplies has not been paid to the government. वो मैंने already discussed किया. Now our stand is that we have received the goods also. Now, how will we prove that we have actually received the goods? And what is the procedure which the department is required to follow if they want to create a demand? Or what is the procedure that I have to follow as a consultant or my client has to follow when I am handling such a matter? तो अब इसमें किसी भी एक इसमें बाइबल जो है जीएसटी लॉ में, वो है सेक्शन 73 एंड सेक्शन 74। कोई भी डिमांड, कोई असेसमेंट का एक ही सिस्टम है जीएसटी में, शो कॉज नोटिस, देयर इज नो अदर मैकेनिज्म। जो सेक्शंस है 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, they ultimately, if you do not agree to those notices, all those notices ultimately have to lead to section 73 and section 74. There is no other mechanism in GST. So we must understand and we must read section 73 and 74 very carefully. We also need to understand what is the difference between 73 and 74. Why? Because 73 has a different domain and 74 has a different domain. 73 डील करता है जहां पर आपसे अनइंटेंशनली कुछ गलतियां हो गई और आपने टैक्स कम पे किया। अगर कुछ इस टाइप का टैक्स रिकवर करना है गवर्नमेंट को, तो उस केसेस में वो सेक्शन 73 को इन्वोक करेंगे। बट अगर आपने कुछ इंटेंशनल एरर्स करी, या सेक्शन 74 इन्वोक होता है कि वेयर देयर इज अ शॉर्ट पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स ड्यू टू सप्रेशन और intentionally you have paid less taxes. In those cases section 74 gets attracted. डिफरेंस क्या है दोनों में, सेक्शन 73 और 74 में? दो डिफरेंस है मेनली। एक, सेक्शन 73 की लिमिटेशन पीरियड कम है, तो डिपार्टमेंट को अगर डिमांड क्रिएट करनी है तो एक पीरियड है 3 years, विद इन अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 years फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न और फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न, उस डेट से 3 years तक डिमांड क्रिएट कर सकता है। इनफैक्ट डिमांड उससे 3 महीने पहले क्रिएट करनी है, एडजुडिकेट करना है विद इन अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 years। जीएसटी में ये एडजुडिकेशन के प्रोसेस में ये एक चेंज आया है पुराने लॉ से। पुराने लॉ में सिर्फ टाइम लिमिट्स था शो कॉज नोटिस इश्यू करने का, बट एडजुडिकेट करने का उसके बाद कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं था। बट जीएसटी लॉ में उन्होंने एडजुडिकेशन का टाइम लिमिट फिक्स कर दिया। तो सेक्शन 73 में अगर आपको एडजुडिकेट करना है तो 3 years के अंदर अंदर एडजुडिकेट करना है, और क्योंकि एडजुडिकेट 3 years में करना है तो आपको एटलीस्ट 3 months पहले उसका नोटिस देना है। तो आपके पास टाइम इफेक्टिवली 2 years and 9 months है फॉर एनी पर्टिकुलर पीरियड। तो अगर मान लीजिए कोई एक सिंपल केस है, क्लासिफिकेशन का से फॉर एग्जांपल डिस्प्यूट, और उसमें कोई वहां पर कोई कोई इंटेंशनल कंसीलमेंट नहीं है, डिपार्टमेंट को हमने बता दिया था कि वी आर डीलिंग इन दिस प्रोडक्ट, इसको हम इस हेड में क्लासिफाई कर रहे हैं, बट बाद में डिपार्टमेंट को लगता है कि इसका क्लासिफिकेशन किसी और हेड में होना चाहिए। तो अब उस केस में डिपार्टमेंट के पास टाइम पीरियड क्या है? टाइम पीरियड है 17-18 का केस करने के लिए। 17-18 का केस करने के लिए उनके पास टाइम लिमिट है 3 years फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न। मेरा ख्याल 17-18 के रिटर्न का ड्यू डेट था फरवरी 2020 था या 2021 था, तो जीएसटीआर 9 का जो डेट था। GSTR 9 का जो डेट था उससे 3 साल के अंदर एडजुडिकेट करना है और 2 years 9 months के अंदर अंदर उसका शो कॉज देना है। बट अगर ये केस सेक्शन 74 का बनाता है डिपार्टमेंट, तो ये 3 साल की जगह टाइम मिल गया डिपार्टमेंट को 5 years, तो ज्यादा पीरियड का डिमांड क्रिएट कर सकता है डिपार्टमेंट। सेकेंडली, जो पेनल्टी है 73 में कम है, 74 में ज्यादा है। तो अगर मान लीजिए अब ये फेक इनवॉइस का ही केस लेते हैं, तो देयर आर 3 पॉसिबिलिटीज कि अभी हम बायर के एंड की बात कर रहे हैं, जिस बायर ने इनवॉइस लिया हुआ है। अच्छा, डिपार्टमेंट एडजुडिकेशन कैसे करेगा? डिपार्टमेंट को अगर एडजुडिकेट करना है तो उनको एक प्रॉपर शो कॉज नोटिस देना होगा मेरे को, और शो कॉज नोटिस देने से पहले, yes, Manoj ji is right. He's saying that the due date for filing of return for annual return was 7th of February 2020. So I was also aware, it was there in my mind that it is somewhere in February 2020. He has clarified the exact date. It is 7th of February 2020. Thank you, Manoj ji. So एडजुडिकेट करने के लिए डिपार्टमेंट को पहले नोटिस देना है। अब नोटिस देना है तो शो कॉज नोटिस देने से पहले it cannot be a straight away show cause notice. Before issuing a show cause notice, they have to conduct a complete investigation. Now, how will they conduct the investigation? They will have to not just, what they will do is, they will issue you a summons under section 70. And in those summons, they will ask for all the documents. And besides document, they will also ask you to tender your statement. And that statement is a valid statement. It is relevant, and it is relevant in any court of law. Unlike a statement given to a police officer under section 161, which needs to be confirmed under section 164, this statement requires no confirmation. So we must be very, very, very cautious when giving a statement. और अगर गलत स्टेटमेंट दे दिया है तो we must retract immediately. Immediately we must tell our client. पहली बात तो क्लाइंट को बोल के चाहो कि कुछ भी हो जाए, वो कुछ भी करे, आपको आपने स्टेटमेंट में लिख के नहीं आना, बिकॉज अगर वो आपको ऐसे ही ल्योर करते हैं, the department will lure you. The department will say कि सर आप ये लिख दो, इसमें आपका फायदा है, हम आपको बता रहे हैं सर आप छूट जाओगे. And the businessman in such eventualities, let me tell you, आप उसके 25 साल पुराने कंसल्टेंट हो और वो ऑफिसर अभी उससे 25 मिनट पहले मिला है जब सर्च होती है, तो अगर मान लीजिए सर्च हुई आपके बिजनेसमैन के प्रीमाइसेस पे, आप उसके 25 साल से कंसल्टेंट हो, आप उसको गाइड कर रहे हो स्टेटमेंट मत लिखना, it will be suicidal for you. बट वो ऑफिसर उसको एडिशनल कमिश्नर, जॉइंट कमिश्नर या जो असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर है, वो उसको बोलता है सर मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ आप ये स्टेटमेंट लिख दो, आप बिल्कुल छूट जाओगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी आपको. And trust me, the client, he does not believe his 25-year-old consultant. He has more faith in the officer to whom he has met 25 minutes back. And he trusts him more than that, और वो statement लिख के आ जाता है. अब statement लिख दिया, तो that is a valid statement in the eyes of law. Under section 136, the relevancy of that statement has been discussed in GST law. So now, if a client comes to you, what do? वो suicide note लिख के आया हुआ है, तो क्या क्वेश्चन, सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन क्या, only on the basis of a statement a demand can be created against the person? The answer is no, a big no. Why? Because statement is just one of the documents, and it loses its relevancy all the more if that statement has been retracted by the person. The retraction का कुछ rules है. Retraction should be as early as possible. It should not appear as an afterthought. It should be done preferably within 24 hours. So there are certain rules for retraction. So what we must do is, first of all, whenever if our client is going for recording a statement in pursuant to summons under section 70, उसको इतना मॉक ड्रिल करो, उसको इतना ट्रेन करके भेजो, उसको बोलो सर आपने कुछ भी हो जाए वो आपको मारेंगे, आपको पीटेंगे, आपको रात को रखेंगे 2 बजे तक 4 बजे तक रखेंगे, आपको अरेस्ट का धमकी देंगे, पर आपने स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिखना। और उसको एजुकेट करके भेजो कि सर अरेस्ट भी किस केस में हो सकता है। एग्जामिन उसके बुक्स को पहले आप एग्जामिन करो कि क्या उसका इविजन कितना क्वांटम है, क्योंकि फेक इनवॉइस के केस में अरेस्ट कैन ओनली बी डन इफ द क्वांटम इज अबव 5 करोड़ रुपीस। If the quantum of tax evaded is less than 5 crore rupees, arrest cannot be done. Secondly, arrest can only be done only for 4 offenses. Those 4 offenses are that a person has issued goods without actually issuing the invoice, that means 2 number mein sale kiya. B, a person has issued invoices but not supplied the goods along with it. So that is case number B. That would be a case of those dealers who are running those so-called alleged fake firms. The third is a person who has taken credit on the basis of invoices referred to in clause B. That means a person who has taken credit on the basis of invoices referred to in clause B, that is fake in so-called alleged fake invoices. And D is a person who has collected tax but not paid to the government. So under section 132, these 132(1), A, B, C, and D, there are offenses up to 132L, but only these 4 offenses, arrest can be done in only in these cases, and that too if the quantum is above 5 crore rupees. If the quantum is below 5 crore rupees, arrest cannot be done. अभी ये issue झगड़ा पड़ा हुआ है कि सर ये आप अभी क्वांटम तो डिसाइड करते नहीं हो, आप तो मेरे को प्राइमा फेसाई कह देते हो कि मेरा इवेजन 10 करोड़ है, ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एलिगेशन कि सर ये 3-4 आदमी थे जिनसे आपने परचेज ले रखा है और ये जिनसे परचेज ले रखा है ये लोग एग्जिस्टेंट नहीं है. ओनली ऑन दैट शॉर्ट ग्राउंड यू हैव नॉट एडजुडिकेटेड, you have not created a demand against me, you have not issued me a show cause notice. Only on the basis of a guesswork, you have alleged that my evasion is more than 5 crore rupees and you arrest me. So this matter is already sub judice before Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Sapna Jain versus Union of India, that whether adjudication should precede arrest. My view is yes, it should precede arrest. But unfortunately, Telangana High Court in the case of P.V. Ramanna Reddy, they said that no, these are 2 separate proceedings. Arrest proceedings, criminal proceedings can go on simultaneously with the adjudication proceeding. So adjudication can go on separately, arrest can still happen. And that view unfortunately has been confirmed, not exactly confirmed, but to some extent endorsed by Supreme Court. So therefore, as of now, all arrests are being made. So far, so many arrests have been made under GST law. All arrests have been made only on the basis of a guesswork. Even a charge sheet is not filed. Charge sheet is filed after 60 days. So, whenever our client is going pursuant to a summons, we must educate him. We must tell him, look, if your quantum is below 5 crore rupees, then your offense is cognizable and bailable. अगर मान लीजिए मेरा इवेजन 1 करोड़ का है, तो हम अपने क्लाइंट को बोलते हैं तुम बिल्कुल डरना नहीं, वहां जाके तुम्हारे को अरेस्ट कर नहीं सकते, जबरदस्ती जमा कराने को बोलेंगे, आपको जाने नहीं देंगे, आप जमा मत कराना, कुछ एडमिट मत करना, स्टेटमेंट नहीं देना, डटे रहना वहां पे. You have to tell to your client that look, these are the techniques which the department is likely to use, and these are common techniques which are used by a lot of enforcement agencies, like Enforcement Directorate also uses these techniques, CBI also uses these techniques, GST people also use these techniques. So these are common techniques which are used by a lot of enforcement agencies. वो सब लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं, रात को 2 बजे स्टेटमेंट रखेंगे, रात को सवेरे बुला लेंगे, 10 घंटा बिठा के रखेंगे, मेंटली हैरास करेंगे, थोड़ा टॉर्चर करेंगे मेंटली. एक और इंपॉर्टेंट इशू है, कैन अ लॉयर गो अलोंग विद the client when he receives a summons under section 70? Legally, the answer is no. A lawyer cannot accompany because there is a Supreme Court judgment to that effect. Earlier, the law was that lawyer can accompany, but he will remain at a visible distance and not at an audible distance. But recently, Supreme Court has stated, no, even that is not required. So nowadays, they say that lawyer is not permitted to be present when a statement is being recorded. But at the same time, there is another circular of the department board itself when it was excise, under the excise regime. It is a 2014 circular, which says that summons should be used sparingly. If you just need data, if you just need information, don't give summons. Just write a simple letter asking for information, asking for documents. But unfortunately, we see that in GST, in each and every case, whenever they need even a simple data, they are issuing summons under section 70. That circular also says that you must try to record the statement during daytime, but in that circular they have added one word: unless and until the detention of the person to whom summons have been issued is done as a matter of strategy. So they themselves admit that it is our strategy that we will detain a person till late at night and he will then confess and he will make a confessional statement. Thirdly, what it says is, generally summons, pursuant to summons, the top management of the company should not be called. Summons should be given only to those persons who are involved in day-to-day affairs of the company. So managing directors, CFOs, they should not be called when the summons are being issued. So one must refer to that circular. It is a 2014 circular. Oh, sorry, 2014 circular, but still relevant in GST law also. Now, summons are being issued. Pursuant to that summons, there are two possibilities. A, we also feel that amount is small, or the client does not want to litigate. तो उस केस में तो क्या होगा कि क्लाइंट कहेगा कि चलो सर इसको जमा करा देते हैं. जमा कराने का लॉ में प्रोविजन क्या है? DRC 03. So आपने एक चालान पे किया DRC 03 and you can deposit your tax amount. साथ में क्या जमा करना है? उसके साथ में जिस दिन आपने क्रेडिट अवेल किया था उससे लेके आज तक का इंटरेस्ट. And thirdly, the department insists on penalty at the rate of 15%. Maximum penalty, if you are depositing suo moto voluntarily, it is 15%. So the officer may say, sir, मैं 100 को 15 कर रहा हूँ. No, वो कोई एहसान नहीं कर रहा है. Law में भी 15% ही पे करना होता है. तो 15% is the penalty. But जो नीचे नोट का कॉलम है, जब आप एक चालान बनाते हैं उसमें कमेंट्स का एक सेक्शन होता है, नीचे आप कमेंट्स लिख सकते हैं. उस कमेंट्स में कभी भी एडमिट मत करो. नेवर एडमिट कि we admit that it was fake invoice, because then it will have impact and repercussions under other laws. It will have repercussion under income tax law. So do not admit. In that comment section you must write without prejudice, and we are depositing the tax to buy peace of mind. Although all our purchases are genuine purchases, but just to buy peace of mind we are depositing this tax. So you must write this kind of a sentence without prejudice and this thing, so that under other laws you are not in a trouble. Let us presume that you want to litigate the matter. Then in that eventuality, collect all your documents. A, you must have made the payment to the supplier. Because अगर आपने payment नहीं किया और more than 180 days हो गया, तो in any case you are not entitled to ITC. Because ITC का एक condition ये भी है कि you have to make the payment to the supplier within a period of 180 days. So first thing is ensure that you have already made the payment. B, see that you have ample documents, जो गाड़ी का नंबर लिखा है, ई-वे बिल्स, और वो गाड़ी का रजिस्ट्रेशन जो है वो प्रॉपर गाड़ी का ही होना चाहिए. ऐसे भी केसेस आए हैं जहां पर इनवॉइस तो है 1 टन सीमेंट और जो उसमें गाड़ी का नंबर लिखा हुआ है वो एक 2 व्हीलर का है. अब ऐसे केस को आप कैसे डिफेंड करोगे? और ये बड़ा इजीली आजकल चेक हो जाता है कि गाड़ी का नंबर कहाँ पे है. सेकेंडली, आजकल ये भी चेक हो सकता है RFID टैग से कि ये गाड़ी उस पर्टिकुलर डे को कहां पर चल रही थी. So where was this vehicle? Just because you have a vehicle, that is not good enough. If suppose you are claiming that you made a purchase of cement from Rajasthan, so whether that vehicle actually crossed through various checkposts and barriers from Rajasthan to Odisha, we need to have proof of that also. Thirdly, the onus will then shift once you have this basic prima facie document. Then the onus will then shift on the yes, you must have a material record register, MRN. So you must have a material receipt register, that whenever you are receiving goods, you enter it into your stock register. So whenever you receive material, you must show. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके पास जो actual business में material आ रहा है उसको तो आप उस register में enter कर रहे हो. I have come across cases जहां पर एक्चुअल बिजनेस में जो मटेरियल आ रहा है उसका तो एंटर हो रहा है, वो तो गेट पे चौकीदार एंटर कर देता है, जो भी गाड़ी एक्चुअल में आती है उसकी एंट्री हो जाती है. बट ये वाले जो सिर्फ इनवॉइसेस आए होते हैं इनकी कोई एंट्री नहीं होती. So the department in such cases can very easily prove कि look, these particular only these invoices to which the department is alleging to be fake invoices, they have not been entered. So then, to prove its case, department will also record you and confront you with the statement of the supplier. वो कहेंगे देखो सर, आपके सप्लायर जिसका आप बिल लेके घूम रहे हो, आपने उसको पेमेंट किया हुआ है, उस सप्लायर ने तो ये कह दिया कि उसने कोई गुड सप्लाई नहीं किया आपको, तो आप क्रेडिट किस बात का मांग रहे हो? यू आर नॉट एंटाइटल्ड टू दिस क्रेडिट. ऐसे केसेस में whenever there is a third party statement which the department seeks to rely upon as an RJD, seek a cross examination of that third party. Always seek a cross examination. वो पता है डिपार्टमेंट नहीं देगा, कोई बात नहीं, ना दे, बट आपने मांगा होना चाहिए. तो आप एक डिपार्टमेंट को चिट्ठी लिखो डेट हमारे को उस सप्लायर को क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन दो, हम उसको कन्फ्रंट करेंगे. डिपार्टमेंट कभी नहीं देगा आपको, बट आपने अगर मांगा होगा तो ट्राइब्यूनल में और कोर्ट्स में जाके दिस पॉइंट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट कि आपने क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन मांगा था, डिपार्टमेंट में दिया नहीं, सो द रिलायबिलिटी ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द सप्लायर कम्स इन जियोपार्डी. अब डिपार्टमेंट को क्या करना है? डिपार्टमेंट विल कलेक्ट ऑल द एविडेंसेस and thereafter it will issue you a detailed, it is supposed to issue, normally the state departments do not issue, they issue a very cryptic show cause notice, but normally they are supposed to issue a detailed show cause notice to you, and along with the show cause notice they are supposed to give you all the relied upon documents and statements on which they intend to rely upon. So once you get that show cause notice, file a very, very detailed reply to the show cause notice. Don't file a very cryptic 1-page or 2-page reply. No. File a detailed reply to the show cause notice. Take all the possible objections which you can take. First thing, check the jurisdiction. The person who has issued the show cause notice, whether he is a proper officer, whether he has the territorial jurisdiction over you, whether he is an officer under the central law, and suppose he is an officer under the central law and you have been assigned a jurisdiction of the state law, so challenge that. Challenge and look into the jurisdictional aspect of it. So first check whether he has the jurisdiction, whether he has the monetary limit jurisdiction to issue a show cause notice. Suppose the show cause notice is for 4 crore rupees, but has been signed by a superintendent. So that show cause notice is bad on that account itself, because there is a monetary limit also prescribed in GST for a show cause notice. So you must see whether the show cause notice has been issued by a proper officer or not. Number one. Number two, file a detailed reply to the show cause notice and annex all the possible documents on which you intend to rely upon. Number two, in the show cause notice, always ask for a personal hearing. Although there is a statutory form also when you are replying to show cause notice, but otherwise also ask for a personal hearing. If the show cause notice is cryptic, vague, don't presume allegations against yourself. Say that we are not able to understand what is the allegation against me. There are many show cause notice I have seen where the allegation is, one is not able to decipher कि अफसर कहना क्या चाहता है. वो सिर्फ एक नीचे डिमांड निकाल के चार्ट बना के आपको दे देता है, DRC 07 summary of the order, but वो कहना क्या चाहता है वो बात समझ ही नहीं आती कई बार. So don't presume things कि verbally उसने मेरे को ये बोला था, verbally उसने कहा था कि आपका मैं ये वाला पार्टी का ITC डिसअलाउ कर रहा हूँ, या verbally उसने कहा था आपका प्रोडक्ट का क्लासिफिकेशन गलत है. No, don't presume allegations against you unless and until those allegations are in black and white in the show cause notice. एक बार आपने शो कॉज नोटिस का डिटेल्ड रिप्लाई दे दिया, या फॉर दैट मैटर किसी भी नोटिस का रिप्लाई दिया, से फॉर एग्जांपल आपको एक छोटा सा ASMT 10 इशू हुआ. ASMT 10 इस ग्राउंड में इशू हुआ कि आपका GSTR 1 और 3B में मिसमैच है, या आपका इस ग्राउंड पे इशू हुआ कि आपका GSTR 2A में और GSTR 3B में जो आपने ITC क्लेम किया उसमें मिसमैच है. आपने एक रिकंसिलेशन बना के राइटिंग में फाइल किया. एंड प्रेफरेबली if you have received a show cause notice on the portal, reply it on the portal also. You may file it manually, you may file it, get it received, but also file a reply on the portal. वो आपके मैनुअल नोटिस और रिप्लाई को तो इधर उधर कर सकता है, बट जो आपने पोर्टल पे रिप्लाई कर दिया, I don't think so he can play with that. So if possible, reply on the portal also. Now, once you have replied to the show cause notice, there are two possibilities. Theoretically, two possibilities: that he may drop the proceedings, he may partially drop the proceedings and partially confirm the demand. And then how to reply to a show cause notice? We are all senior professionals. हम सबको पता है, there are so many grounds which need to be taken when you are replying to a show cause notice. The show cause notice must state the exact amount of demand up to the paisa also. The show cause notice must clearly state the reason on the basis of which demand is likely to be created. The show cause notice must give a personal hearing. Of principle of natural justice has to be observed, and so on. There are so many grounds, and on each case specific, you can take as many grounds as required. Now, once you have replied to the show cause notice, there are 2-3 possibilities. One possibility, that he drops the proceedings, which I said is a theoretical possibility. Why theoretical? Because actually in practice, it never happens. In practice, 99% of the cases, the demand is confirmed. Yes, reduction of demand can take place. In certain cases, they reduce the demand. You can take up the issue of, in certain cases, like there is a ground of revenue neutrality. So you must take up the issue of revenue neutrality. Then once a demand is confirmed, then you are left with no other option but to file an appeal against that order. Now, appeal has to be filed within a period of 90 days maximum. I think it is 60 days plus 30 days under section 107 of the CGST Act. It is 3 months plus 1 month. Now, before that thing, if he confirms, he will pass an order in original. That is called OIO. So he will pass an order in original. Against that order in original, you have got a time period of 90 days to file an appeal, and that can be condoned only by a further period of 30 days by the commissioner or joint commissioner appeals. Beyond that 30 days, they cannot condone even if they want, except the present scenario which is going on under COVID, there is a circular where they have stated that this period is getting excluded. So as of now, if the order has been passed after March 2020, then the limitation period is alive. Otherwise, there is no, the limitation period is not there. Otherwise, in general, you must be very, very careful that you have to strictly follow the limitation period 90 days plus maximum 30 days. And that to 30 days if there is a sufficiency of cause shown. If you are able to show as to why you could not prefer it within the period of 90 days. Then another hurdle with the appeal is, in earlier regime, VAT में, service tax में, excise में, word use क्या था? जहां जहां appeal का provision था, वहां पर word use थे, appeals shall not be entertained unless and until a condition prescribed in so and so is fulfilled. And that condition was the discretion of the appellate authority. कि वो 2% करता है, किसी किसी स्टेट में फिक्स थी. Generally it was in that regime, it was a discretion of the appellate authority. He could demand 5%, he could demand 10%, he could even demand 100%. So that condition was a imposition of a precondition was the discretion. उसके हाथ में था कि वो कितना precondition impose करता है. फिर जब सर्विस टैक्स रेजिम आया तो उन्होंने एक फिक्स कंडीशन इंपोज कर दी. लेकिन उस केसेस में भी तब क्या था कि हाई कोर्ट्स यूज्ड टू इंटरफेयर. अगर आपका इफ यू आर एबल टू शो प्राइमा फेसाई अंडर रिट जुरिसडिक्शन, हाई कोर्ट्स यूज्ड टू इंटरफेयर. अगर आप ये शो कर लेते हैं सर मेरा एक्चुअल में कोई डिमांड नहीं बनता, दे हैव क्रिएटेड अ वेरी फिक्टिशियस डिमांड अगेंस्ट मी, ऑल्दो इन वेरी रेयर केसेस हाई कोर्ट यूज्ड टू इंटरफेयर, बट इट यूज्ड टू कि they have created a fictitious demand against me and therefore this precondition should be dispensed with. But now generally the practice of the court is no. If there is a statutory appeal, is a statutory right. It is not a fundamental right. So if it is a statutory right, the courts generally say that if any condition has been imposed along with an appeal, then you need to fulfill that condition. अब पहले था as a precondition for hearing of the appeal on merits, at least you could file your appeal without the pre-deposit. Here in GST, it says the appeal shall not be filed unless and until you pay 10% of the disputed tax. तो आपका अपील फाइल ही नहीं होगा, नॉमन तेल नहीं होगा तो राधा नहीं नाचेगी यहाँ पर. तो अगर आपको राधा को नचाना है तो नॉमन तेल तो लाना पड़ेगा. So howsoever bad, howsoever abrupt a demand may be, but my personal view is in times to come it has to be tested. If there is a demand which is absolutely whimsical, उस केसेस में हाई कोर्ट विल इंटरफेयर. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है, अभी ये टाइम बताएगा, अभी मैटर्स आए नहीं है इतने. टाइम विल टेल कि whether high court will interfere in such matters or not. But in my opinion, high court should interfere. अब मान लीजिए ना, मैं एग्जांपल लेता हूं, किसी का बिजली का बिल नॉर्मली आता है महीने का 5,000 10,000 रुपए का, और बिजली विभाग उसका 5 लाख रुपए का बिल बना के भेज दे. अब उसको बोले सर आपको इस ऑर्डर के, अगर आपका हमने तो 5 लाख का बिल बना दिया, आपको इस 5 लाख को चैलेंज करना है तो पहले 10% जमा कराओ. तो पहले 50,000 रुपए जमा कराए. वो आदमी बोले सर मेरा तो बिल आता हमेशा से 5,000 आता था, अब मैं 50,000 कहां से लाऊं जमा कराने के लिए. वही सेम सिनेरियो जीएसटी में भी है. So, but this is what the lawmakers have chosen, and not just, it does not end here. Again, commissioner appeals generally is a formality in GST. डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस में कमिश्नर अपील बहुत रिलीफ देते हैं. जीएसटी में जनरली रिलीफ नहीं मिलता, और मिलेगा भी तो डिपार्टमेंट अपील कर देगा सेकंड अपील टू द ट्राइब्यूनल. So if the department files an appeal, or if you do not get any relief before the first appellate authority, then you can take up the matter to the tribunal, and in tribunal you have to deposit another 20%. So total, अगर मान लीजिए किसी का 10 करोड़ का डिमांड निकला, पहले उसको 1 करोड़ जमा करना है, फिर 2 करोड़ और जमा करना है ट्राइब्यूनल तक लड़ने के लिए. So he has to deposit a total of 30%. But yes, the one good part is the moment you deposit 10%, law says that the balance amount shall automatically be deemed to be stayed. So there cannot be any recovery. So this is a procedure which you have to follow. Abhi tribunal has not been formed yet, although every day Chief Justice is nowadays after the government, and it is every day asking to the government as to why you are not formulating various tribunals, not just GST tribunals, all other tribunals. And the court became very furious because they came out with a tribunal which was quashed by Supreme Court following the judgment of Madras Bar Association, which was a Madras Bar Association leading case of Madras High Court and confirmed by Supreme Court. So they quashed this scheme of a tribunal in GST law because there was no judicial, the majority was not of a judicial member, it was of the administrative member. So they again formulated the same law. The Supreme Court has said that, do you want us to quash it again? Because this is not the way things should happen. That is one part of it. Now, litigation, this is one part of litigation relating to adjudication. Other litigations, as I told you, could be for procedural lapses. There also you have to strictly follow the timelines. Like for registration, you must keep in mind whether your registration was kept under suspension or not. If it has been cancelled, you must apply for restoration then, and if that restoration is not also done and it is finally rejected, you must file an appeal within the prescribed time. Similar is the case with appeals, with refunds. Now in refund, the process is you will file a refund application in RFD 01. He will issue you an acknowledgement in RFD 02. Once an acknowledgement is issued in RFD 02, then that will happen only if he does not issue you a deficiency memo in RFD 03. If he issues you a deficiency memo, then you have to again apply for refund. You don't have to reply to the deficiency memo. You have to again apply for refund only in RFD 01. If a deficiency memo is issued, removing the deficiency. And when he is issuing a deficiency memo, he cannot go into the merits of the case. He can only look into the completeness of the application, that whether my application is complete in all respects or not. That is governed by Rule 89 of the CGST rules. So thereafter, if I apply and I am issued a deficiency memo, I again apply, and this time my application is found in order, then I am issued a acknowledgement in RFD 02. Once an acknowledgement is issued, thereafter he will proceed to examine my application, and then either he may grant me refund in RFD 06 and thereafter followed by a payment advice in RFD 05, or in the alternatively, he may issue me a show cause notice. Once a show cause notice is issued, then I will reply to that show cause notice in RFD 09, and thereafter he may either accept or reject my refund and pass an order in RFD 06. And if he grants my refund, then he will also issue me a payment advice in RFD 05. So there is a complete mechanism for refund in GST. As far as merits is concerned, yes, there are a lot of gray areas in refund. Time period is one area where a lot of refunds are getting rejected because of time period. But one must read to one constitutional bench, 11-member bench judgment of Supreme Court in the case of, although it is in the excise regime, but the wording in excise, in section 11B of the Central Excise Act, was exactly pari materia with section 54 of the CGST Act. So one must read that judgment in the case of Mafatlal Industries Limited. That is a 9 or 11-member bench judgment of the Supreme Court, where they have stated that wherever a time period has been prescribed, although that judgment is primarily on the theory of unjust enrichment, but this issue of limitation period for applying for refund has also been dealt in that judgment. And since that judgment says that time period is sacrosanct, if you fail to apply for within the time period, then you miss the bus. There are also another issues which needs to be examined. Like, one must keep in mind that every issue need not be litigated. Because let me tell you, bad facts come out with a bad law. So which case you are taking up for litigation is very, very important. There are certain cases which need not be litigated, where the quantum is less or where the chances or probability of success are very minimal. Because if you are litigating, you must keep in mind that if you lose the matter, then interest at the rate of 15% will, 15 or 18, whatever is the rate under GST, that will continue. So you can also litigate by depositing and then litigate if you want to avoid interest, especially when the quantums are low. So whether to litigate or not to litigate a particular matter is purely determined on the basis of the facts of each and every case. Ranjit ji, how much more time do we have?
You can speak. Actually, now 1 hour has already been passed. I think we should go for question and answer session, Bhatia sir.
Okay, I'll conclude in 2 minutes. I'll conclude in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So litigation, and then litigation is also very not expensive from professional fee front point of view. It is also expensive from the point of view that you have to make a huge pre-deposit. So whether to litigate or not to litigate should be very carefully examined in each and every case. Yes, in certain cases, litigation is unavoidable. There you have no other option but to litigate. One more issue. So, like if your refund is rejected, once a refund is rejected and rejected on the ground of time barring, and suppose you are an I'm taking a case of an exporter. Now, exporter, maybe he may not succeed on the ground of time barring. But then what he can do is, he simply has to file a letter to the authority, proper officer, that I am not going to file an appeal against this rejection order. Kindly recredit my credit ledger account. And the officer is duty bound to recredit by PMT 03. He is duty bound to recredit your credit ledger. Now, what you can do is, whatever further exports you are making, you can start making exports after payment of taxes under section 16(3)(b) of the IGST Act. Once you make exports after payment of taxes, whatever taxes you pay, which are mentioned in your shipping bill, that becomes your refund application and you are entitled for refund. And when it comes to credit, there is no time period. It becomes a fungible credit. Your claiming of credit has to be in accordance with section 16(4). वो तो आपने time से claim कर ही लिया था credit. सिर्फ refund time से apply नहीं किया. So you can always do such kind of planning that you can, in that eventuality, you can get your refund through exports after payment of taxes, and your client will get refund. So I think this is a very huge topic. I can speak for 10 hours on this issue, absolutely impromptu. But the problem is that, like constitutional validity, I personally feel that in each and every case, we should not go and challenge the constitutional validity. Yes, in certain cases, we can say that the provision is bad in law and needs to be read down. Fortunately, there is a very good judgment from Odisha High Court in the case of safari retreats, which started the landmark that whether a person is entitled for credit in respect of immovable property or not, especially when that immovable property is likely to be used as a business asset. Although that matter has been challenged by the government in Supreme Court, but Odisha High Court was the first one to pass a judgment on this issue. And fortunately, I think you have in Odisha High Court a very learned judge. I don't know whether he's handling tax bench or not, but Justice Muralidhar, he was from Delhi only, and one of the finest judges we have come across in our life. I have appeared before him umpteenth number of times and argued many matters before him. And he's a very good judge. He listens to you patiently. He grants you relief also, and he understands the subject. So you are fortunate enough that you have such a learned judge as presiding as Chief Justice of the Odisha High Court. So now I think we can take up the question answer session on whatever questions you have on this issue of litigation.
Okay. Vineet ji. After hearing you, I would like to express three things. First of all, we are highly obliged to our indirect taxes committee, who has been insisting us to invite a speaker like you. Second, Sanjay Sharma. We are so much grateful to Sanjay Sharma, who
Even
has.
I am grateful to him. I am indebted to him. That it is only because of him that I met friends like you.
Yes.
And I am here today only because of him.
Absolutely correct. Only because of Sanjay Sharma, आज हम लोग आपको मतलब you could speak before us. And third and most importantly, when you started, you said that you would be speaking ex tempo. Indeed, you did that. No PPT, nothing. The ex tempo, that was the best part of your talk. Vineet Bhatia sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much for enlightening us. Now we would go for the question and answer session. For the question and answer session, our chairman, Sri P.K. Naik, will be moderating. With him also, we are having Dilip Agarwal from Rourkela, Manoj Agarwal from Rourkela. We have a chartered accountant, a very young chartered accountant from Bhubaneswar, Tarun Agarwal. He has already joined. We have Manas Dhar, the vice president of Rourkela Tax Bar Association, is also with us. So therefore, the four of these GST experts will also join us, will also participate in the question and answer session. Now this is now P.K. Naik sir, please take over.
Yes, I'm here.
Please take over.
Ranjit bhai, before you move further,
Sanjay bhai.
I hope the choice of speaker I gave you, I have fulfilled your things requirements.
Exactly, Sanjay bhai.
Will it come up to
Exactly.
your expectations? Yes, come up to your expectations.
The entire Berhampur Tax Bar Association is highly indebted to Sanjay Sharma ji. We are highly obliged, brother. We are highly obliged. Thank you so much.
One more thing. I didn't see Manoj Agarwal is there from Rourkela.
Yes,
a very
yes,
good dear friend and a younger brother. So I must greet him also. He's going to take up the questions now. And thirdly, the format I found is excellent. Where you are having your member executive committee meeting also, as well as you are greeting the persons on their wedding anniversary, on their birthdays, and wishing them good luck. That's a wonderful thing to do. I wish you all the best.
Thank
But
you.
Ranjit,
We are very lucky to have you with us here,
I must tell
Sanjay.
you, you cannot match Sanjay Sharma in that.
Not
You
at
can
all.
never
Not
match
at
him.
all.
Yes, that's my
He is
motto.
beyond everybody. He is just
This
beyond
motive.
everybody. Now, Sri Naik, P.K. Naik, sir, please take over.
Okay, thank you. I am audible.
Yes, very much.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I thank you, Mr. President, Secretary of our association. मैंने भाषा में बोल नहीं सकता हूँ. आज मैं इतना प्रभावित हो गया भाटिया सर का स्पीच में. मैंने जो सोचा था कि ऐसा एक स्पीकर हमको चाहिए. मैं बहुत दिन से हमारा प्रेसिडेंट को बोल रहे थे कि indirect taxation committees के तरफ से कि we need such a speaker who can give us clear us all the doubts in his speech only. मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि आपको क्वेश्चन आंसर की जरूरत नहीं है. इतने प्रांजल, इतने क्लियर कट समझा दिया है हमको. तो I think we are very much appreciate on you. Thank you, Bhatia ji.
अरे my pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
Exactly. हमने बहुत प्रभावित हुए हैं आपके स्पीच में. आपका जो एग्जाम्पल दिया है, वो एग्जाम्पल से बहुत डाउट हमारा क्लियर हो गया है. वो क्वेश्चन से ऑफ हो गया है, क्वेश्चन लिस्ट से. फिर भी अब हमारे पास कुछ क्वेश्चन है. We have got some questions from our members, brothers. So, first question from G. Ramnarayan Patra from Bhanjanagar. Sir, what is the actual date of receipt of the order? Date of order or date of reference posted in the portal, date of posted in email, date of physical receipt of the order, date of certified copy.
Got it. I have understood the question. You see, service of notice under GST is governed by section 169 of the GST Act.
Yes.
So one must look into section 169 of the GST Act, and in GST law, let me tell you, merely posting on the portal is also a service. Secondly, sending by email, which was given at the time of registration, if a mail is being sent, that is also a valid service. So you cannot say that valid service is not there. As far as the date is concerned, let me tell you, in times to come, this will be a highly litigative issue, especially when the limitation periods for filing of appeals are very, very strict. So there would be cases where suppose एक order portal पे post हो गया, आपने actual में portal खोला ही नहीं 2 महीने तक, या 3 महीने तक आपने portal खोला ही नहीं, और जब आपने खोला या 6 महीने, 3 महीने तो चलो फिर भी टाइम है, मैं 6 महीने बोलता हूँ, 6 महीने तक पोर्टल खोला नहीं आपने, और 6 महीने या मेल चेक नहीं किया, मेल स्पैम में चला गया, अब 6 महीने के बाद में वो ऑर्डर आपने पढ़ा और तब तक लिमिटेशन पीरियड निकल चुका है उसका अपील फाइल करने का, और कंडोन करने का पावर भी खत्म हो चुका है कमिश्नर के पास से। तो अब उस केस में माय व्यू इज, दिस इज माय व्यू, बाकी ये टाइम बताएगा, माय व्यू इज we will have to look into the provisions of Information Technology Act कि अगर ऑनलाइन सर्विस है तो उस केसेस में, ऑनलाइन सर्विस के केसेस में इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट में क्या लिखा हुआ है कि कब सर्विस माना जाता है। एंड सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यू जाएगा, ये ओनर्स किसके ऊपर है प्रूव करने का कि दे हैव एक्चुअली सर्व्ड इट और नॉट। सो इन माय व्यू दिस द डेट ऑन विच अ पर्सन एक्चुअली visits the portal and sees the order। अब ये टाइम मेरे को नहीं पता, आई एम नॉट अ वेरी टेक्निकल गाय कि मैंने पोर्टल पे, तो लेट अस प्रिज्यूम मैं अपने रिटर्न फाइल करने के पहले पोर्टल पे गया, बट मैंने ऑर्डर वाला पार्ट क्लिक नहीं किया। इफ आई हैव नॉट डन दैट, देन कैन इट बी सेड दैट आई हैव ऑलरेडी viewed the order? So and whether technically it can be ascertained as to whether वो जो log क्या बोलते हैं उसको, log details, from log details can it be checked? ये time में I am also not a very highly technical person, so we need to, I think some younger person will be able to throw more light on this as to when can it be said that it is served. But my personal view is I am very clear that it cannot be said to be served merely by posting it on the portal, although the law says so. Despite that law, it cannot be said that it is merely because it has been posted on the portal that is a valid service. It is a valid service, no doubt about it. But time will have to be determined in accordance with the Information Technology Act. That is my view. If the panel has some other view, they can share their views.
Tarun, Manoj, I would like to, I would request you to kindly interfere.
Manoj bhai, boliye.
Tarun Agarwal, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please interfere.
Good evening, sir. The fact is very clear. As far as the technology is concerned, as rightly Bhatia sir pinpoint, the point is that if somebody is opening the portal and having 100 options is there, how somebody can think that if just because he's logging into a system and file return, not file return, then whatever available in the website he have deemed to be seen, deemed to be under his knowledge on that particular date and time. That is
And secondly, Tarunji, let me tell you, in section 169, there is no deeming provision. The deeming provision is only for physical service, that if an order is sent by registered post and that too at the correct address, then it is deemed to be served within a natural period of 2 to 3 days. There is a deeming provision, and that the deeming provision is also a rebuttable provision.
Yes, sir.
It is a rebuttable provision.
And
so,
right, sir. And Mr. Naik have again raised the recently issues which we are facing, that the notices are actually a date, say 3 months or 4 months back.
Yes.
But they have posted in the website all of a sudden, and it appears to be as if it is dated of 4 months back. But 2 days back it was not there. So we in our office we have put a specific system onto that every day a screenshot need to be taken, because something have come into physically but still website is not saying. So take a screenshot and keep it safe. So nowadays, it is like putting the ball in somebody's court and taking back the ball. So this is how There is no other
It
option.
is very difficult task to search out the mail again every day and search out the portal notices and additional notices. There are two things are there. One is the main notices are there and another additional notices are there. So nobody can search every day what is notices are served or not.
Another
It is
area of litigation which I forgot to mention was portal related problems. There are in GST, I think there are two set of laws operating. One is GST law, which is mentioned in the CGST Act, IGST Act, SGST Act, and the other is a GST portal law, which is sometimes different from what is stated in the Act. So in many cases, we will have to challenge the provision of the, we will have to challenge the functioning of the portal that it is not in accordance with law.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, if I can add something.
Yes,
Hello?
yes, Manoj bhai.
Vineet sir, you rightly said that in times to come, this will be a big challenge. And in fact, service is complete when it is communicated. There has to be an actual communication.
Right.
So unless I have gone to the portal, and it can always be proved through the log sheets of the GSTN, they are maintaining all the log sheets at what time, at specific time I have clicked on which functionality. So through RTI or through this thing can also be proved. If required, it can be proved that I have actually not gone and visited that particular notice. And even if email, many times it happens that it goes to the junk mail. So it has gone to the junk mail and I have not seen that email. So it cannot be a proper communication of the service of notice. So this will be a litigative issue. And one more thing, what about this GST network, this Tarun Bhai was saying, no? Last month only we had a meeting through AIFTP with GST network CEO, Mr. Manish Sinha. Sanjay Bhaiya was also there, Sanjay Sharma sir. So this point, we had to put this point before him that whenever this notice is uploaded in the portal, there should be the date and time of upload printed on the notice itself. But unfortunately, this question was not allowed to be taken up. So this was one of my requests that जब भी हम कोई notice को वहाँ पे portal में department upload करता है तो उसका time वहाँ पे automatic generate होना चाहिए. So it will serve our purpose that वो कब उन्होंने upload किया, backdating नहीं हो पाएगा case. So, sir.
Sir,
Okay,
one thing I say, in shelter.
Please.
Hello.
Please.
Sir, in when notice. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Nagam, Punna is asking a question, Nagam.
Yes, you can.
Sir. When notice is issued in that act, वो टाइम पे क्या होता है कि मेल में एक क्या एक जो कॉलम आता है
एक पॉपअप नहीं एक पॉपअप आता दिल्ली वैट में आता था एक पॉपअप आता था
हाँ पॉपअप आता है सर राइट
पॉपअप आप उसको बोलते थे आई हैव रेड द नोटिस आप उसको क्लिक करते थे तभी वो आपको पोर्टल में एंटर करने देता था so that was an acceptance that yes you have read the notice
yes sir वेट एक्ट में भी ये है सर उड़ीसा वेट एक्ट में भी वही नोटिस
हाँ अभी लेकिन जीएसटी में ऐसा नहीं है
अच्छा
वही दिक्कत है सर
okay thank you
so may I go to second question sir
yes please
yes
second question from Devanand Patra advocate Barampur whether show cause notice is mandatory before passing order of assessment
yes
it is mandatory
it is mandatory you cannot pass any order unless and until you give a show cause notice. Because if you read the except only in one case, there also you have to give a show cause notice. That where admitted tax liability has not been paid, there also you have to require to give a show cause notice. So in all cases, show cause notice has to be issued.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Third question, sir. Whether DRC 07 is mandatory before filing first appeal? In some cases, we see that
DRC 07 is, I think, it is just a summary of the order.
Yes, sir.
It is a summary of the order, and if it is passed, legally, yes, it is a mandatory condition that once an order in original is passed, then DRC 07 has to be issued, because only if DRC 07 is issued, then only the portal allows you to generate APL 01, which is the
Sure,
form
sir.
for appeal.
But we see some cases, demand is rising without showing DRC 07 in portal, sir.
But
What shall
even
I
that
do?
case, still appeal can be filed against the order. My view is, again, this issue will have to be tested whether DRC 07 is a mandatory form or it is a directory form. So it is quite possible that the court may say that this, if order has been passed, but DRC 07 has not been issued, then it is only a technical lapse. It does not actually hamper unless until the order is a speaking order.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Next, very interesting question, sir. From Jivan Das Advocate. Can a GST officer search the residential premises of a dealer with only search permission of a business premises only?
No, he can search the residential premises only. He can search the residential premises also.
How, sir? He has
But for all searches, he has to follow the code of criminal procedure. The law relating to searches in code of criminal procedure has to be followed whenever a search is being done under section 67 of the CGST Act.
सर वो लोग जो सर्च वारंट लेके आते हैं उसमें क्लियर मेंशन होता है बिजनेस प्रेमिसेस का नाम और बिजनेस प्रेमिसेस का एड्रेस.
उसमें सर्च वारंट में रेजिडेंशियल प्रीमाइसेस अगर नहीं लिखा हुआ then he cannot visit.
That is the point, sir. That is the point.
No, but अगर उसके पास सर्च वारंट INS 01 है और INS 01 में दोनों चीजें हैं, रेजिडेंस का भी है और ऑफिस का भी है, और कमिश्नर ने उसको, ये जॉइंट कमिश्नर, एनी ऑफिसर नॉट बिलो द रैंक ऑफ जॉइंट कमिश्नर हैज ऑथराइज्ड दैट सर्च, then he can search both the business premises as well as residential premises.
अगर नहीं होता तो नहीं कर सकते.
नहीं, अगर नहीं है तो नहीं कर सकता.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
सर हेलो सर, इसमें एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है मेरा. वो एडवोकेट का जो कंसर्न एडवोकेट है उसका क्या ऑफिस सर्च कर सकते हैं या नहीं?
देखिए, मेरा मानना यह है कि लेकिन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स का तो करते हैं, बहुत रेगुलरली करते हैं. एडवोकेट्स का जनरली नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर लॉ में लिखा है दैट वेयर द proper officer not below the rank of joint commissioner has reasons to believe that a taxable person has suppressed any transaction relating to supply, or any person engaged in the business of transporting goods, or an owner or operator of a warehouse or a godown or any other place is keeping goods which have escaped payment of tax. He may authorize in writing any other officer of central tax to inspect. So inspection can own. Actual में देखिए, law is silent on the issue. अगर आपको residential premises पे कभी अगर search authorization देना है तो आपको ये उसमें कहना पड़ेगा, INS 01 में reason state करना पड़ेगा that we have reasons to believe that he is keeping his books of accounts at his residential premises, or there are certain incriminating documents which he is keeping at his residential premises. My personal view is an office of a lawyer cannot be searched unless and until there are allegations that a lawyer is actually mastermind and operating few fake firms. In that case, office of the lawyer can also be searched.
Okay, thank you, sir.
This much
Next
only.
question, sir.
Please,
Next
please carry
question.
on. Please carry on.
Okay. Next question from Purnachandra Hota, Advocate Barampur. Can we file a case before the court for illegal harassment of an officer? Can we file a case before the court for illegal harassment of an officer?
There is no bar on filing, but let me tell you, your client will never come forward for filing a case.
No, sir, ऐसा होता है सर कभी-कभी.
लेकिन क्लाइंट भाग जाएगा सर, क्लाइंट आएगा नहीं सामने. बहुत 10-100 में से एक क्लाइंट मिलेगा जो कहेगा अच्छा सर वी विल फाइल अ केस.
छोड़ के चला जाएगा.
Sir,
छोड़ के चला जाएगा.
Vineet ji, in this connection, I would like to point out an issue. मेरा एक contractor client है who is already registered under the GST Act, but he has been assessed as an unregistered dealer under Section 63. I have already filed a rectification petition requesting for a dropping of the order. But the proper officer says that I am now not able to drop this order and you have to file an appeal. In this case, can I file a case against the proper officer? That I am a registered dealer. Why have you assessed me as an unregistered dealer? And for your fault only, now I am going to file the appeal.
Just check as on the date of order whether your registration certificate was cancelled or it was still in operation.
That was in operation. That was active by then.
Sir, still I feel that courts will not interfere in such matter. At best, court will say you entertain this appeal without a pre-deposit. High Court can, that too only High Court can direct, or you can High Court can direct, the court can direct that you rectify this order. But sometimes they will say, okay, it happened by oversight. He will come up with a plea that it happened by oversight.
Okay.
And therefore, court can reprimand him. Court can डांट मार सकता है उसको कि आपको you should have checked before passing the assessment order कि whether a person is registered or not.
अच्छा. Thank you.
सर ऐसा होता है कि कुछ ऑफिसर इंटेंशनली क्लाइंट को हरास करते हैं, तो इसी केस में
मणिपुर हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट देखना होता है. They want to see the judgment of मणिपुर हाई कोर्ट.
सर मेरा एक केस था सेल टैक्स के पीरियड का. वो 1995 में शुरू में मैंने एडवोकेटिंग आरंभ किया था. उसी वक्त ऐसे को केस हुआ था. हमने खुद फाइल किया था 1cc बिफोर आर उदयगिरी कोर्ट में फाइल किया था. बाद में वो केस कॉम्प्रोमाइज में आ गया. ऑफिसर का रिक्वेस्ट किए तो हमने कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लिया. लेकिन ऐसा होता है सर.
ब्यूरोक्रेट्स के साथ तो ये कॉमन फीचर है. वो दे हरास.
सर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Can the department issue a provisional attachment order immediately after issue of DRC 07?
No, provisional attachment order is under Section 83 of the CGST Act.
Yes.
Section 83 of the CGST Act is during the pendency of investigation proceedings. That too can be done only by the commissioner, and that too only in limited cases where the commissioner has reasons to believe, जहां पर उनको ये लगता है कि ये आदमी का इन्वेस्टिगेशन अगर 2 साल चला तब तक तो ये भाग जाएगा सब बेच बाच के. सिर्फ जनरली लीगली स्पीकिंग सिर्फ उस केस में प्रोविजनल अटैचमेंट कर सकते हैं, और वो भी वैलिड होता है ओनली फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 1 ईयर. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये लेफ्ट राइट एंड सेंटर हर केस में प्रोविजनल अटैचमेंट कर रहे हैं. जहां तक अटैचमेंट का सवाल है, for bank account attachment, that will not be a case of provisional attachment, which is after DRC 07. Because after DRC 07, it's a recovery procedure. It is not provisional attachment. It is a recovery proceedings. Recovery proceedings ideally should not be initiated till the time there is a time for filing of an appeal. So till 120 days, it should not be done. It should not be done. And if it is done, all you have to say is that I am going to file an appeal. I have paid 10% and therefore my bank account should be released.
ऐसा होता है सर. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि DRC 07 पर वो इश्यू कर देते हैं. जिस दिन इश्यू करते हैं उस दिन ही अटैचमेंट के लिए भेज देते हैं.
गलत है. That is a wrong thing.
Yes.
Challenge that. That is a wrong thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Nagavu, can I interfere for a moment?
Yes.
To add to this, भाटिया साहब, एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि नॉर्मली हम लोगों का जो अपील पीरियड होता है वो 3 महीने का रहता है, and 1 more month is allowed for condonation.
Right.
But so far as the Supreme Court's suo moto order of on time point of limitation is concerned, still we have time to file the appeal.
Right.
It means recovery proceedings should not be initiated until and unless this period is over by the Supreme Court. So recovery proceedings should not be over. And second, whenever they issue an attachment order, they issue it to the bank only, not to the concerned person.
Right.
are they not bound to send it simultaneously to the dealer? The attachment order.
After creation of demand, they are bound to do so. But before creation of demand, under section 83, which is provisional attachment before creation of demand, they are, in my view, they are duty bound to do so, even serve a copy on the dealer, but they don't do so.
Yes.
They give it only to the bank.
Yes, they are not doing that.
Yes.
We have got information from the bank only, sir.
Right.
Next question, sir. Whether low valuation is a factor for detention of goods?
Pardon? Sorry, I could not get you.
Whether low valuation is a factor for detention of goods?
Lower valuation, undervaluation.
No.
Undervaluation.
There are a lot of judgments on this issue that classification disputes, valuation disputes cannot be decided on road. So when our goods are in transit, the valuations can never be a ground for detaining the goods. Can never be a ground under section under rule 138 for detaining the goods.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question from CSK Sitarajani. The applicant has two lines of business, one for the supply of goods, another for the supply of services. He is interested for composition scheme. Whether the rate of composition is applicable is 1% for the turnover of goods or 6% for the turnover of services.
Sir, I think rather than me, somebody who's the chartered accountant, Tarunji would be a better person to answer this question. I am not handling day-to-day matters relating to composition.
Okay, Tarunji, please.
I have the same problem, sir. Manojji might help me.
But I think the composition scheme, I am not authority. I think the composition scheme permits you to do services also up to a particular limit. They have prescribed certain limits that you cannot do. If you want to opt for composition, two conditions need to be fulfilled. That your total turnover should be below a particular limit, and out of the total turnover, your service component should be also of only a particular limit. If you are falling within those limits, you can opt for composition scheme. Once you opt for composition scheme, you will have to pay composition rate.
No. It is okay, sir. He must pay in
Honestly, I am not sure whether on the entire value 1% is to be paid or 6% is to be paid.
That is
I
the
need
point.
to check. I can revert back after checking, maybe tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. मनोज भाई इस बारे में कुछ बोल सकते हैं?
मनोज अग्रवाल।
मनोज
हाँ
भाई
जी सर
बोलिए ना।
सर आई एम ऑल्सो नॉट 100% श्योर बट व्हाट आई थिंक दैट उसमें 10% ऑफ 5 lakhs का एक लिमिट है विच एवर इज लेस टू दैट एक्सटेंट इफ आई एम अ सप्लायर ऑफ गुड्स बेसिकली आई एम अ
So that
सप्लायर
is right, Manoj bhai. His question is not that. His question is that I can मेरा वो सर्विस का लिमिट तो below 10% ही है, but रेट मेरा सर्विस वाले पे अलग रेट लगेगा और गुड्स पे अलग रेट लगेगा, टोटल पे एक ही रेट लगेगा. That is his question.
I am also not sure. I cannot comment without being sure.
We need to check, sir. I need to check.
इसी बारे में एक
सर मैं बोल सकता हूँ सर.
हाँ
बोलिए.
बताओ सर.
हाँ सर. मैं अकॉर्डिंग टू माय व्यू सर गुड्स के ऊपर 1% और 1% है और सर्विस के ऊपर 6% है सर. 3+3.
That is sure. That is not question answer. কথা হচ্ছে কোন যে whether he will pay 1% of total turnover or 6% of total turnover.
Next sir, it's माने categorical payment sir.
No. Composite is whether it is.
I think in composition only 1%, but that service is not coming with that.
Yes, that is the correct.
मैं सोचता हूँ एक AR है कर्नाटक हाईकोर्ट का और 23 TUD उसमें कुछ क्लियर नहीं है फैक्ट क्लियर नहीं है फिर भी दिखना पड़ेगा सर तो बोलेंगे कल ओके थैंक यू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन this question also from Purnachandra Hutta. Applicant dealing in second-hand goods and tax is to be paid on difference between the selling price and purchase price as stipulated in Rule 32(5) of CGST rules. Whether ITC is allowed to be claimed if purchases are made from the dealer from whom marginal scheme is applicable. Sir?
The marginal scheme is only for
A second-hand vehicles, sir.
second-hand vehicles.
Yes,
Not all goods.
Yes, yes.
In my view, there you are not entitled to ITC. You have to pay difference at the rate of 65% on the total valuation if the sale value is more than the book value. If it is less than the book value, then you are not required to pay any tax. And rate of tax is also 18% rather than 28%, which is applicable on automobiles.
Yes, yes.
So, if you want to avail the benefit of that notification and margin scheme in case of second-hand cars, then you can opt for it, and you will not be entitled to any ITC.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
But other ITC you are entitled to one-to-one correlation wherever, like you will not be entitled to ITC on the automobiles as a trader, which otherwise, if you are not opting for this margin scheme, for which otherwise you would be entitled. If you are not opting for margin scheme.
Marginal scheme.
Right.
It is applicable only for the second-hand vehicle. Sir,
no, you see.
Which a question. Hello.
The rule provides for second-hand goods, but I think that notification which has been issued under Rule 32(5) is only in respect of vehicles.
Yes, yes.
To the best of my memory.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Some question to be raised by our Vice Chairman Gyana Ranjan Sahu. Gyana bhai?
Yes, yes.
कौन क्वेश्चन दिला कौन दो?
थैंक यू चेयरमैन। मेरा क्वेश्चन है, एक तो ये 73 और 74 का है, तो मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि whether a commissioner can instruct its subordinate officials to either treat a matter under 73 or 74.
My view is commissioner cannot interfere in the adjudication proceedings of the proper officer. He has to apply his independent mind. He cannot act on the dictates of his commissioner.
Okay, thank you, sir. और दूसरा है सर, रीइंबर्समेंट ऑफ एक्सपेंसेस सर। यहाँ दो केस है, एक तो एक गैस एजेंसी का केस है जहाँ लोडिंग और लोडिंग हम देते हैं और वो रीइंबर्स करता है सर।
तो वहां पर आपको कोई भी एक्सपेंस किसी भी सर्विस के लिए अगर रिइंबर्स होता है, you will have to see that you follow the conditions of pure agent.
Sir.
If you fulfill the condition of pure agent का condition क्या क्या होता है कि invoice should be in the name of the final supplier.
Sir.
You should also be rendering some other service.
Sir.
You should also be taking that money only on the actual basis. जितना actual unloading loading है उतना ही receive करना है. और जो supplier should be some third party. So if you fulfill the condition of pure agent, then it is not to be added in the taxable value. But if you are not able to fulfill the conditions of pure agent, then section 15 will come into play.
सर आप जो बोल रहे हैं वो तो एक पेट्रोल पंप के लिए सही बैठता है सर, लेकिन जो गैस एजेंसी है वो तो हम परचेज करते हैं और सेल करते हैं।
गैस तो आप देखो, गैस के ऊपर तो आप पूरा टैक्स पे कर रहे हो, लेकिन जो लोडिंग अनलोडिंग चार्ज है,
हाँ, वो उसका हम पेमेंट करेंगे कि नहीं सर? क्योंकि जितना हम देते हैं उतना ही रिसीव करते हैं सर।
किससे?
वो हमारा गैस एजेंसी, मतलब हम सपोज एचपीसीएल का गैस डील कर रहे हैं, तो जितना हमारा लोडिंग सपोज 20,000 है तो एचपीसीएल हमको 20,000 की रीइंबर्स करता है सर।
बिल आप जो लोडिंग अनलोडिंग का इनवॉइस लेते हो वो किसके नाम से लेते हो?
ये एचपीसीएल का सर।
एचपीसीएल के नाम से लेते हो, then you are fulfilling the condition of pure agent.
सर तो पेट्रोल पंप के लिए भी वही, वो एक मैनेजर अपॉइंट किया है तो उसको वो सैलरी भी देता है और दूसरा जो एम्प्लॉइज होता है या फिर कुछ सर्विसेज का जो होता है वो भी रीइंबर्स होता है, उसके हिसाब से भी वो टैक्सेबल नहीं होगा।
देखिए कोई भी अमाउंट जो आप रिसीव करते हो
सर,
आपको अगर उसको एक्सक्लूजन में लेके जाना है तो आपको रूल 33 फॉलो करना पड़ेगा
सर।
तो आपको रूल 33 के हिसाब से ही उसको प्योर एजेंट में ले, अगर वो प्योर एजेंट के रूल 33 की कंडीशंस को फुलफिल कर रहा है प्योर एजेंट वाली
सर,
देन इट हैज टू बी एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम द टैक्सेबल वैल्यू। अगर प्योर एजेंट का कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं कर रहा है देन इट इज टू बी इंक्लूडेड इन द टैक्सेबल वैल्यू।
थैंक यू सर। सर मेरा थर्ड क्वेश्चन है whether ITC can be utilized while paying tax in DRC 03 and 10% of demand while filing appeal, sir?
Yes, for tax component ITC can always be utilized. For interest and penalty, even otherwise ITC cannot be used. So for and in any case when you are filing an appeal you have to pay 10% only of the tax, not of interest and penalty.
Yes sir. So ITC can be utilized, sir.
ITC can be utilized.
Okay, thank you sir. Naik Babu.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any more question from our members?
If my chairman allow me, I have two questions.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Actually, one question is already asked by Gyanaranjan Sahu. Whenever we file an appeal and when we go to that pre-deposit portion, it asks us कि आप उसको adjust करेंगे क्या? मतलब the system asks. The system is asking कि are you going to adjust the amount from ITC or cash ledger or credit ledger? So actually I have been issued with a SOCUS from the local additional commissioner that you are not allowed because you have utilized the ITC. So now I could understand that I am allowed for that. Is it correct, Vineet ji?
Yes, you can pay if you have ITC in your credit ledger. You can pay the precondition amount through your ITC.
Thank you so much, Vineet ji. This is very much helpful.
Even
Now the
sir,
second.
Sir, 1 minute. Even in case of ITC, they are issuing notices because we have utilized ITC in DRC 03. So in that case also we have to go for appeal also if there is an order.
No, what they are checking is whether your ITC was correct or not. That is a separate issue.
No,
you have
no,
made
sir,
payment through ITC. That is, they cannot challenge that.
No, sir.
You
They
see,
are
section 49 of the CGST Act clearly states that you can make payment of taxes through ITC. ITC is nothing else but tax.
Yes,
there is a Supreme Court judgment on this issue. Eicher Motors Limited.
Sir.
You can go through that judgment. Eicher Motors Limited. It is in Central Excise.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now my second question is, I have been issued with a 07. Now the time limit for rectification request has already been lapsed. Now can I file a petition requesting the proper officer to get it rectified basing on the judgment of the Supreme Court?
My view is yes.
Actually क्या होता है कि मेरा 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20 ये 3 साल का there is a heavy demand and उनका जो फिगर है और मेरा जो रियल फिगर है वो उसमें बहुत अंतर है. उनका figure is too high and if I go for appeal I have to deposit abnormal amount of 10%. So that is a very big setback for me. So I can file a petition requesting the proper officer to get it rectified.
Yes, my view is you should do that. If the department is let the department say we will not follow Supreme Court dictates.
They actually said the CBIC has issued a circular
155, circular number 155.
Yes, clarifying the Supreme Court's order.
Then you challenge that circular also.
Yes.
Challenge that circular also.
Because circular is binding on the officers, but that is not binding on us.
Yes.
Thank you, Vineet ji. Now.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Please, yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
DL bhai na pacharandu.
Yes.
Actually, regarding income tax TCS, previously the suppliers have collected in the invoice. In 3B, how you have to show the IT TCS collected by the supplier?
I could not get this question.
The supplier previously selected through invoice, in the invoice itself, income tax TCS.
In
In the
3B, you have
invoice
to show the invoice value, total invoice value.
No. Total invoice value in 3B, we have to show taxable value, exempted value, where you have to show. As per invoice, they have not collected GST on my TCS income tax. They have collected only invoice value on my value only. They have collected GST, but additionally they have collected from me TCS. They have not charged GST on that TCS income tax TCS.
No, I am still. Suppose I make a supply of 100 rupees to a government department. Government department deducts 2 rupees as TCS. Let us presume 2 rupees as TCS, and they make me a payment of 98 rupees.
No, that is the different. Suppose here the goods is supplied by my supplier. He has in the bill itself, my goods value is 100, 5% is tax, 105 plus TCS 1 rupee. Totally he has collected 106. I'm giving an example.
Sir, may I interfere?
Yes, Manas, please. Manas, please.
In my opinion, what sir is asking, he is asking where we are supposed to put the TCS part.
In the 3B return.
In my
yes,
opinion,
yes,
it is
in
not
the 3B
required to be
return,
put at all.
Actually, it is to be put in the total value. Taxable value remains the same, and the tax as under GST will be as it is in the in your like books. So the TCS will be part of total value. It will not be reflected anywhere else other than total value. That is my opinion, sir. Because that is how it will be. It can be tallied with your total bill value. And as far as accounts is concerned, even any other member can also explain to that.
Tarun is willing to
Actually,
explain.
what I understand that what he is asking that whether the supplier is not charging GST on the TCS part. So actually is not supposed to charge GST on the income tax. It is not a supply. That is what I understood from the question. That it is not chargeable, sir.
Even if you don't show it, even if you don't show it in your GST or 3B,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yes, sir.
Okay. But sir, in some of the instances, some of the taxable persons are showing it in their tax total value. That is how the things may come as a difference.
It can be done that way also. My taxable value is 106, 101
Yes,
rupees.
sir. Taxable value will remain the same. It will not affect the
total
taxable
value is
value.
101 rupees. Taxable value is 100 rupees. Tax is 5 rupees.
No, under 3B there is no column total value, taxable value. In 3B there is a one column taxable.
There is no specific column in 3B, sir. It can only be
on
added
total.
in total value, or it may be left as it is.
Sir, let me.
Tarun wants to add something.
Sir, my submission would be the whole TCS under income tax is not on the invoice. It is basically on the value of when the payment is made. So that is why there are the procedural disputes came. So people are doing in the invoice itself, they are charging a separate TCS amount in the income tax provisions, and that leads to this dispute that if a tax rate is 5%, for example, the 100 rupees the invoice, so value is 105 rupees, but say TCS is 1 rupees, now the total invoice value is 106. But as far as taxable value under GST is 100 and 5 rupees is tax. Now this 105 versus 106 is the dispute now. But the difficulty here is this 1 rupee is a pure agent. It can be coming under 33. So that 1 rupee doesn't require to be put into anywhere into GST record, to my submission is. Because it is a clearly additional collection on behalf of the income tax department to be deposited in the income tax department on behalf of the person from whom this amount is collected.
I go with you, Tarunji, on this point. TCS is not to be charged on the invoice. It has to be charged separately through debit note or credit note, something like this.
Exactly.
Yes, it has not to be done, and most of the companies are following a wrong practice.
Invoicing is made that way. That is the main crux actually.
Yes.
Most of the companies are following a wrong practice, and we should not follow it.
Even sir, to my knowledge, if I'm not incorrect, even Sale RSP is doing the same way.
Sir, bigger companies are not listening. We are saying you are creating unnecessary disputes in that. But they
and the culprit are the big companies. They say ki whatever we do. That is why when TDS has come on the provision, now they are changing the line of action now. Once the TDS, because 194Q is going to supersede TCS.
TCS, yes.
May I go?
Any other question?
Yes. Jivan bhai asking a question in chat box. May I go?
Naikam, please go through the chat box. There are certain questions in the chat box. Tarun, Manas, Manoj, Kalyan bhai, please go through the chat box. Dilip bhai has left, I think. Dilip Agrawal. Sure. Suman, please ask.
Sir, actually, I have a contractor client whose GST is got cancelled since December 2019. But the surprising fact is that he is getting all the payments till date. 19, 20, 21, 20, till date he is getting all the payments. But due to his number is cancelled in December 19, I cannot revoke because of the limitation period since March 2020. So now he wants to pay all the pending taxes. So how to comply with the cases?
Sir, although such cases should have been revoked, but since you did not apply for revocation within time, you have no other option but to file an appeal that let it be temporarily revoked, and I may be allowed to, I may be permitted to pay my taxes. Secondly, I think I'm not sure on that procedurally. Even a cancelled dealer can pay taxes, but he cannot. There should not be any bar in payment of taxes. And
Yes, sir.
thirdly, that payment of taxes has no linkage with the payments received, because payments you were supposed to make when you actually issued the invoice, when you actually did the work. So time of supply as per section 13 of the CGST Act was the time when you completed the work, not when you received the payment.
Sir, but the December 19 is registration is cancelled. So the portal is not allowed to file beyond December 19. If the
No,
appeal is
return
not,
filing may not be permitted, but is tax payment also not permitted?
so how will make the tax payment without 3B, sir?
No, DRC 03.
Okay.
But then in that eventuality, your buyer will not get the credit.
Sir, I can interfere here, sir. Hello.
So the better course for you will be that you should get your registration restored. And only you tell them that I want to get it restored only on the short ground that I want to pay my taxes.
Sir.
Tarun, you can file appeal for revocation of cancelled order. You may file the returns up to December 18. Up to December 18, you file your returns, then you file your revocation of your cancelled order through an appeal. You can get easily revocation.
Naiko, more question अच्छे.
हाँ कौन?
विनीत जी, good evening.
Good evening.
सर, हम लोग का जो ओडिशा स्टेट में वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट में जो काम करते हैं, उन लोग का एक डाटाबेस है, दैट इज कॉल्ड वामिस डाटा बोल के डाटाबेस बनाया है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ ओडिशा. ये वामिस डाटा में जितना हम लोग को पेमेंट मिलता है आज पर रनिंग अकाउंट बिल में, वो वामिस डाटा को थोड़ा कुछ डिफर होता है. वो वामिस डाटा को बेस करके जितना रिटर्न हम रनिंग बिल में मिला है और जो मिलने वाला है, वो जो बिल इशू किया है, उसको हम लोग ऑलरेडी आई हैव शोन इन माय GST 3B and also GST 1 also. But on that data, WAMIS data basis, they have calculated, you have not shown in GST 3B returns this much, you pay tax and interest and penalties. How so far is the WAMIS data is it legally for GST? It is my question.
No, sir. In all contractors, this problem arises. You see, what happens is a contractor, suppose he is doing a work, he keeps on issuing RA bill. He keeps on issuing RA bill on a monthly basis.
Yes.
That RA bill gets altered because once final measurement is done, and the measurement of the contractor and the measurement of the department sometimes varies. And because of that, there is a difference between the bill which has been prepared by the department and bill which is approved by the department and the bill which is prepared by the client. Generally speaking, I'm not saying in every case, generally speaking, the client bill is always on a higher side and the department, what the department approves is on a lower side. So if I have already paid taxes on a higher value, then there is no problem.
In very, very rare cases, it happens that my final bill is more than what I have actually raised in my invoice. But as far as this legal sanctity of this final order is concerned, it has got no legal sanctity. Time of supply is not governed by the final sanctioning. Time of supply is governed by the invoice or the completion of service, whichever is earlier.
सर ये जो और एक बात है, जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट जो डाटा प्रिपरेशन करके जो ऑनलाइन जीएसटी वाले को जो ऑफिशियल हैंडओवर करते हैं, वो डाटा इज हाउ सो फॉर इट्स वैलिड फॉर जीएसटी, ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है। एक दूसरी बात सर, दूसरी बात है, मेरा जीएसटी टीडीएस जीएसटीआर 7 में जितना टीडीएस आता है वो मेरे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट आरए बिल सब मैचिंग है, बट ये जो वामिस डाटा जो आता है ये कितना ठीक है, ये मैं जानना चाहता हूँ। उनके साथ ये क्यों लिंक करते हैं?
That is not the correct way. That is
इसको क्यों लिंक करते हैं?
तो वो प्रोसीजरली अपने आप कर लेते हैं, बट अगर कोई चैलेंज करेगा तो that will not be able to stand the scrutiny of law.
ये तो जीएसटी एक्ट में कुछ डाटा को ऐसे एक्सेप्ट करके उसको बेसिस ऑफ डाटा दे हैव टैक्स एंड पेनल्टी, दे नेवर डू इट।
नहीं, दे कैन नॉट इम्पोज टैक्स एंड पेनल्टी ओनली ऑन द ग्राउंड। देखिए, मैंने 100 रुपए का काम किया, हो सकता है गवर्नमेंट ने उसको 90 रुपए का पास किया या 110 का कर दिया, बाद में रेट एस्केलेशन मिला। हाँ, अगर मेरा वो चेंज जो है वो प्राइस एस्केलेशन वगैरह की वजह से है, इन दैट इवेंचुअलिटी आई एम रिक्वायर्ड टू पे टैक्स ऑन द डिफरेंस अमाउंट आल्सो।
ये ठीक बात है।
हाँ,
विनीत जी, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है। हेलो विनीत जी, हेलो विनीत जी,
जी
am I audible?
यस यस,
बोलिए जीवन भैया, बोलिए।
हाँ, नमस्ते विनीत जी, नमस्ते। मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, while filing my annual return, I have paid some amount, extra amount out of GSTR 3. DRC 03, sorry, DRC 03. So in that case, I paid it the deficiency amount out of the credit ledger, but it is not allowed by the assessing officer, and he is imposing notice me to pay out of only cash ledger. Is it mandatory
you
to
show him
pay
section
out of the cash
49.
ledger, sir?
No, you show him section 49. You tell him that the portal also permits me to pay through credit ledger. How are you saying that it can be, it has to be paid only through cash ledger? That is wrong. You reply to the officer.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
49.3 and 84.5.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, PL Bhaina, yes, please carry on.
There is a provision that 1% of the total tax liability after set limitations is to be paid in cash. If the turnover exceeds 50 lakhs in a month, the tax is paid. Whatever you are paying, 1% is to be paid in cash.
That provision has been inserted. You are talking of Rule 86A. 86A and 86B. 86A has been not yet notified. Has not yet been notified.
It is not notified.
No, it has been put into the statute book, but it has not yet been notified to the best of my memory.
Okay. That means that provision is not applicable now, as you say.
As of now, it is not applicable.
Okay.
Vineet sir, 86A is blocking of credit, sir.
86B is Rule 86B is 99% thing.
Right, sir.
Any more question?
Sir, can I ask one question?
Please, Manoj ji, we will ask. We will discuss offline.
Only one. I mean, very important. One very important.
Let him ask. Let him ask, Vineet ji, please.
There are certain guests at my place. So, but चलो कोई बात नहीं. Let it. हाँ जी, बताइए.
Let it be the last question. Let it be the last question.
जो सर्कुलर के बारे में समन्स के लिए कि एक वो 20 जनवरी 2015 का एक सर्कुलर है सेंट्रल एक्साइज रिजीम में, और आई ऑलवेज कोट दिस सर्कुलर। हेलो,
हाँ जी,
हाँ, उसमें बहुत ही क्लियरली उन्होंने मेंशन किया है कि सीनियर मैनेजमेंट को फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में दे शुड नॉट इशू समन्स।
yes. I refer to that circular.
Yes, you refer to that circular, but ये department is not accepting, saying that this is the सर्विस टैक्स और सेंट्रल एक्साइज का सर्कुलर है, बट आई से दैट।
पर फिर मैं आपको इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप बताता हूँ। इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप है, अभी एक जजमेंट आया है जिसमें बोर्ड का इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि आप हाईकोर्ट का ऑर्डर है कि आप अगर स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए बुला रहे हो तो देयर शुड बी सीसीटीवी कैमरास ऑपरेशनल इन
परमवीर सिंह जजमेंट सर।
हाँ, तो हम चिट्ठी लिख देते हैं कि सर पहले हमें ये बताओ आपके यहाँ पे जहाँ पर
सीसीटीवी है
स्टेटमेंट
कि
रिकॉर्ड
नहीं?
होना है वहाँ सीसीटीवी कैमरा है कि नहीं है, फिर उनका कोई
सर,
जवाब
मैंने भी
नहीं आता।
सर मैंने भी ये कोट किया है, परमवीर सिंह का जजमेंट है, बहुत ही बढ़िया जजमेंट है।
हाँ।
बट मेरा भी क्वेरी यहाँ पे ये हो रहा है कि अभी रिसेंटली कल ही मुझे एक समन्स आया क्लाइंट को, वो कोट करते हैं समन्स अंडर सेक्शन 14 ऑफ सेंट्रल एक्साइज एक्ट, रेड विद सेक्शन 83, रेड विद सेक्शन 174 ऑफ दिस जीएसटी एक्ट, और नीचे में लिखते हैं कि दिस इज अंडर सेक्शन 70 ऑफ CGST
Sir,
एक्ट।
I'll tell you, it is because of the repeal and saving clause. They must be investigating a case under central excise.
नहीं, वो उसमें केस सर प्री जीएसटी का भी है और जीएसटी पीरियड का भी है, मतलब वो
हाँ, वो दोनों पीरियड का इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं, इसलिए वो दोनों का समन दे रहे हैं। That is a procedural thing. There is nothing wrong in it.
अच्छा, वो वैलिड है, मतलब दोनों का
Valid है।
सेम समन्स में वैलिड है। ओके,
Valid है।
ओके, राइट सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू ऑल। विनीत भाई, आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू, हार्टफुल थैंक यू टू यू। Over to our president and
1 minute
for further proceedings.
Thank you so much,
Ranjit.
Chairman. Thank you so much, Chairman, Indirect Access Committee, Nayak Babu, for moderating so organized in an organized way. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request our past secretary Purna Chandra Hota to present the vote of thanks. Unmute yourself, Purna.
Namaskar and wish you a happy, wonderful Sunday evening to all. Litigation said to Embassy Boss is a machine which you go into a peak and come out a shares. A look this year's economic survey will give us a census of how many peaks and turn into the shares in India. According to the recent economic survey, close to 9.46 lakhs crores is held up in litigation. A fear that on business entities in the business in which India in a rampant situation and the amount of time taken for litigation to complete. One of the keys to be achieved with the introduction of a GST was the industrial litigation. GST is being perceived by industry is the following sort of success on core of parameters for judging tax reforms that is reducing the litigation. Okay, now the time for vote of thanks. I deem it great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the God making today's occasion a surrounding success. First and foremost, we wish to express our gratitude to our today's speaker as well as a GST expert, Sri Vineet Bhatia sir, of the burning topic regarding litigation under GST. For this point-to-point clarification, I hope it's a really encourage to us fulfill our target to complete the work in a correct manner. For this great personality के लिए एक पंक्ति कहना चाहता हूँ। खुशियों भरी इस महफिल में आज अपनेपन का एहसास हुआ है। आपकी गरिमा को उपस्थिति पाकर यह कार्यक्रम खास हुआ है। I also express my heartfelt thanks to our dynamic and energetic president, called as my Mota Bhai, Dr. Ranjit Padi, for his valuable contribution for presiding this meeting. We again thank to our indirect tax chairman, Sri P.K. Naik sir, vice chairman, Mr. Janoina, Biswajit Bhai, Vinod Bhai, Pradeep Bhai, and my younger loving brother, Sampurna, and other executive members for his backbone support and their willingness to take the complete of tasks beyond their comfort zone. I also extend my thanks to our Honorable Secretary, Advocate Tirupati Vaina, for their enormous heart-clear cooperation in this organization and arrangement everything this meeting. We thanks to our Vice President, our energetic chartered accountant, Ipari Ashok Bhaina, Treasurer Advocate Ranjan Bhai, and Joint Secretary Shekhar for their clear heart support to take the all tasks done perfectly and smoothly. We also thanks to Sri Sanjay Sharma sir, Senior Advocate of Delhi High Court Bar Association, Mr. Sanjay Agrawal, President of Raulkela Tax Bar Association, Mr. Manoj Agrawal, Secretary of Raulkela Tax Bar Association, Mr. Manoj Dal, Vice President of Raulkela Tax Bar Association, Mr. Dilip Kumar Agrawal, sir, Mr. Pradeep Naik, sir, Chartered Accountant Tarun Agrawal, sir, Advocate Chanchal Kedia, and also our another big brother, Mr. Kalyan Bhai, and mine, all attending other tax bar members for valuable opening for his August gathering. At last but not least, also thanks to our participant members for raising practical and debatable questions to place for today's this one meeting. Finally, I would also like to take this opportunity to place on record our heart thanks to our tax bar family members for perfect logistic participate, support and cooperation the meeting to grand success. लास्ट में एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ, चाहे इस पर अल्लाह सबको खुदा का नाम लेता हूँ, चाहे इस पर अल्लाह सब रब खुदा का नाम लेता हूँ, मगर दिल में अमन के अपनी आवाम कहता हूँ। मेरे इन नसीहतों को मैं भी जीवन भर उतारूंगा, इस वादे के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। वंस अगेन आई थैंक यू ऑल फॉर अटेंशन। सबका खैर, थैंक यू, वंदे मातरम।
Thank you so much, Purna, for presenting so beautifully. Thank you so much. And Vineet ji, क्या बोलूं मैं आपके बारे में? So detailed, so clean and clear. You have explained it so perfectly, so nicely. और संजय भाई को दूसरी बार हम लोगों की तरफ से बहुत बड़ी मतलब we are very much obliged संजय भाई। संजय भाई पार्क में थे, अभी वो आके खटिया में बैठ चुके हैं, अभी घर पे है। Tarun is a very dear brother, is a dearest brother, not only dear, he's a dearest brother. And so far as Raurkela is concerned, I always say कि बरहमपुर के जितने भी प्रोफेशनल्स है वो एक माँ के बेटे हैं, और राउरकेला में जितने भी प्रोफेशनल्स है वो हमारे मौसी के लड़के हैं। तो उसी हिसाब से राउरकेला के सारे प्रोफेशनल्स हम लोगों का मौसी के लड़के हैं, तो हम लोगों का भाईचारा का रिश्ता है, वही रिश्ता रहेगा। एंड विनीत जी, आपका ये सारे सुनने के बाद हमारा एक पास्ट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हैज रिक्वेस्टेड अस कि विनीत जी डिजर्व्स अ स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन। तो आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल माय मेंबर्स टू प्रेजेंट अ स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन, प्लीज, ही डिजर्व्स इट।
ऐसा मत करो, प्लीज ऐसा मत करो, ऐसा मत करो।
नहीं विनीत जी, सच में एक्चुअली यू आर द बेस्ट स्पीकर सो फार। We have invited many speakers. You are contemporary. आप तो हम लोगों के दोस्त हो, तो आप आज बरहमपुर टैक्स बार एसोसिएशन, राउरकेला टैक्स बार एसोसिएशन और तरुण के आप सबके दोस्त बन गए।
नहीं, माय प्लेजर। और मेरे को जब भी थोड़ा हालात अच्छे होंगे, मौका लगेगा, and if I get an opportunity, I will come personally to Berhampur.
You are always welcome, brother. Whenever you come, you have to bring Sanjay bhai with you.
Sure.
And thank you so much for everybody's knowledge. Let me inform you that there are guests at Vineet's home. So Vineet ji has to leave. So Vineet ji, thank you once again and good night. Sanjay bhai, thank you so much. Good night.
Welcome. Good night.
Yes. बाकी हम लोग संजय भाई अगर आप चाहें तो we can stay for some more time for a chit chat. छोटा सा कुछ chit chat अगर करना है तो हम लोग आपस में कर सकते हैं। संजय भाई, एक्चुअली बरहमपुर टैक्स बार एसोसिएशन जो है, हम लोगों का एसोसिएशन में आज के दिन में we are 115 members. संजय भाई है। And our tax bar association consists of advocates, chartered accountants, company secretaries, cost accountants and tax practitioners. And हम लोगों का सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि कोई अगर एजेड वाला मतलब कोई सीनियर आदमी कुछ बोलते हैं तो वी गो बाय दैट एंड वी आर फॉर्चुनेट दैट हम लोगों का यूनिटी जो है किसी का नजर ना लगे. दिस इज यूनिक संजय भाई. We are too lucky to have you today with us. Thank you so much. जब भी मौका मिलेगा संजय भाई हम लोग आपको फिजिकली यहाँ पे बुलाएंगे.
Definitely, sir, it would be our pleasure. And bar is always our extended family. As you said, it's a very close little family. And I could make out from the wishes you were greeting members on their anniversaries and personal greetings. So I could make out.
Yes,
That's
yes,
very
Sanjay
nice
bhai.
gesture.
Thank you
Please
so
keep it
much,
up.
Sanjay. Thank you so much, Sanjay.
Thank you, Sanjay sir.
Right,
Namaste,
Hota
sir.
ji. I know you, Hota sir. We know each other.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So should we, Tripati, should I end this?
Yes.
Good night, everyone. Namaskar.
Good night.
Okay, Tirupati ji, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Right.
Thank you.